Hello, welcome to the stream. I'm doing the intro today. Now I'll hand over to Maris. There you
Fine.
No,
go.
you said that you will do the intro now. You'll have
Do
to
it.
actually do it.
I
You
will
put
hold
your-
you.
you put
I
your
will
foot on your
hold you
mouth.
to your word, Cord.
Yes.
You put your foot on your mouth. Now you have to take responsibility. So do it. Do it.
Hi, this is the intro. We're playing Star Wars stuff.
Yes. We're playing 2 sessions of Star Wars back to back.
Technically free
Because
because I did 2 recordings.
yeah, no, we're
Maybe.
not counting.
It was still that session was cut in half.
Yeah.
We're still counting it as a single session.
Yes.
I know.
Exactly.
I know. I'm teasing.
Because
So,
I
last
need more plan to
time-
develop a thing I came up with last minute.
He wants to build Mount Rushmore in space.
Uh, so last time, you were able to find most of the stolen artifacts. And you were able to apprehend a special individual.
hmm Totally not super dangerous. That has a flying lightsaber.
Yes,
Totally not Darth Maul's sister.
it's not flying, damn it.
It's a helicopter
fly
Say
now.
that to
lightsaber.
rebels. Say that to rebels.
They
I
fly now.
refuse. I refuse. I refuse the function.
Okay,
This
catch
particular.
steps outside, activates the helicopter lightsaber, and just puts it above his head. Roll pilot.
Yes.
So, you're back on your ship. What are you going to do with your prisoner? Question mark.
Put her in the fridge and cover her with gum.
Serious question.
Cord, you are just
I am having my day.
calm
tonight.
down. Calm down.
Or otherwise, you will be voted to be expelled.
Off the island
Yes.
while we're in space.
Anyway,
You are the imposter.
no, it's Stab. He's been here the entire time.
Oh no.
Anyway, what are we going to do with
We're
this
not going to
person
get anything done. What do we do with this person?
And this was our session,
I-
everyone. I hope
remember,
that
one of
you
the-
enjoyed.
One of the conditions regarding these people from Neo was it's tie up. So yeah,
Do we even have any rope
it's
on
not
board?
free.
Hold on. Hold on. I got you.
Dwayne, what are you tying her up with? Where did you get all those bendable rusty pipes from?
I see. So that means that she will be left. Oh no.
Can you read that, or do I have to remake it?
Read one.
Brig.
Brig?
Brig? What?
Brig. It's a brig where you throw a prisoner.
I don't see
Okay,
anything. Ah, the
We have a
brig.
break. Okay, good to know. We didn't know we have one, but okay, I take it.
There you go.
Dwayne, Grand Ship Designer of the New Republic.
Now it's canon.
And I'm clipping it.
Well, at least he has a good paying job.
Also, are you going to just put stuff here
I
and
can feed my
there?
family now.
They
I can doodle my family.
they eat now?
Also, are you going to just stuff here and there?
She doesn't have anything that could be dangerous. We have Searcher. Elena has Searcher.
Yes, you
Just to be
took
clear.
you took the lightsaber, the blaster. You took the pouch with the mysterious
She has any. She only
crystal
has
or whatever it
the
was.
clothes on her body, which Elena considered to be safe for her to have.
Why
Okay,
me?
then.
She's not going to be naked, but Elena is going to be doing
Despite everyone
proper
else's
Now the
search
question is,
pointer-
like,
despite everyone else's objections.
could we find
There is.
electro binders?
Mhm. Or
I
could I
mean, you
design
can
them?
go. Hmm?
Could I design them? You know, with because I usually
You can actually make something akin to
Mhm.
security cycles, I guess, if you have enough time and a good roll.
Actually,
Other
no.
than that,
Go for a force cage.
Look, I don't have the force. That you will have to
doesn't
have
require
the
the force.
Jedi
It
roll.
doesn't require a force, it just needs a cage.
Okay. Okay.
and
Yeah, energy and all that. Would that be possible for the brick? Or not?
no.
Okay.
Dadgummit.
You actually need a lot of time and
Okay.
parts in order to be able to.
Let's
I would
see
have
how
said
it.
let's just go ahead and retroactively do that, but nah,
Yeah.
that's still a good
Oh
roll.
God, that's a 9.
Okay. It's not a 9, it's a 31. Which means it is enough to make something that is actually durable and does the
Mhm.
job it's supposed to do.
Good.
Other than that, she has a helmet on. Do you remove that or not?
You know,
Again,
I
Elena is
didn't
the
even
one
know.
that's
I didn't
doing the
even
search.
know. I didn't even know she had a helmet on.
Again, Elena is the one that's doing the search because she's the only female of the group. So it's on Elena's discretion, whatever that
Nice to
helmet
know I've
there
been
or not.
volunteered.
You're welcome.
What do you want us to go there and looking at someone who of the opposite sex? Would you like that if you're in prison?
No, because it's called
Exactly,
it's called
exactly why Neo
professionalism.
says you do
It's
it.
called professionalism, Neo. You don't have to be a woman to show professionalism and courtesy.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want people to overthinking stuff unnecessarily, so you do it.
Just because I've got boobs.
Just because you are a female too. Even if you didn't have boobs, and if you were a female, it would be.
Are you taking the helmet off or not? Damn you!
Fine, I'm taking Joanne with me for a second opinion.
Joanne takes the helmet off.
Hooray! Thank you for
Screw
your
it.
thank you for your second
Screw it.
Thank you for your second opinion.
Okay.
It's very valuable.
Okay,
Elena just doesn't want to work.
No,
underneath,
Elena doesn't want to
under-
do something without. Elena doesn't want to do it without a party consent.
DM is trying to talk.
yes. Underneath, you see the face of a woman. She's very
Oh my. So
pale.
surprising.
Yes.
Mm.
Uh, you could say that she seems to be very pale, but it's actually the grayish whitish skin of.
That's a very unhealthy complexion. You should get some more sunlight on that.
Mhm. She also has some markings on her face, and by markings I mean like tattoos.
Daffamiri tattoos.
50% off? What does that even mean?
30% off? No, it's the full price. Anyway,
Oh, it's a DFS half price sale.
oh, I see. This has not been promoted yet. There we go. Uh,
Why am I getting half price? Why am I getting offers of if you buy this T-shirt, you get this pair of trousers absolutely free, despite the fact you'll not need the trousers.
I
so
don't know. That seems pretty sus. Use the force
two
on it.
things, two things, two things that stand out. The first thing is that despite her being a Zabrak, she lacks any horns protruding from her skull.
Ah, she's not horny enough.
That's too far.
The second,
Only in
the,
your
sec-
mind.
the second thing is that with a rough estimate, you can guess that she's somewhere between her mid 30s, maybe. With a small recall, you can place that you can place it that the age seems right if you take into account Ilva's vision.
This is the Dathomiri which we were looking for.
Shall we roll wisdom or use the force?
Mm, either or, I guess.
I will roll use the force because that's my.
You don't have to. It's
I
you are fairly certain, but why not?
I'm double checking.
You rolled a
Okay.
2.
As I said, you are fairly certain that you are correct in this assessment.
And I was just confused.
I don't know. I don't roll. I just know. I just know. Unless you want me to roll.
As I said, it's not necessary. If you feel like it, you
I
could.
did it for flavor text.
Let's see what I roll. Just for the heck.
Oh God.
Jelena
Identical.
continues.
Same. That means you are completely matched.
Yep,
Who supports who?
Jelena, unite.
Oh
So,
no, kill
Not that kind of
everything
union.
everything that you took off from here, I guess that it's not being deposited inside the confinement space, I guess.
Oh heck no.
No, how we
I'm not
leave
telling you
that?
where it is because
Oh God.
You're not telling me where it is.
exactly.
That means that I can
It's on the
substitute.
store. It's on our storage.
That means that I can substitute my own reality.
No, we put it on the
No!
storage on the farthest part from the where
It's
she
not a
is.
chamber pot.
You can keep that a secret from her, but not from me. This is not how it works.
Actually, so
We
Ketch would
put
do
it
whatever he would be
here.
doing with the
Okay.
saber, and it'll be up to Lena to decide what she wants to do with the pouch.
Yeah.
Elena's gonna keep
Mhm.
the pouch on herself, so then she can give it to Ilva when we get to Coruscant.
I'm
Okay.
guessing that the box of the other artifacts, minus the one that the mood took, is going right here in the
Okay.
cargo.
Yep,
Yep.
with Elena's personally watching over them, because half of
Mhm.
those are
Cargo
going back with
space.
her to the Jedi Order.
Okay, now what are you going to do? Are you going to return back to Coruscant
Yes,
right away?
yes.
Okay,
Look at
then.
Elena taking charge.
I'm developing.
That means that you will need at least 2 jumps.
All right.
Actually, more than that. Now that I'm
Where are we?
reminding myself of
In a yellow
the map.
submarine.
Let me see. You're right there.
So we go to Coruscant
Yes.
We'll have to have the
again.
birthday. We'll have to have the birthday party as we travel. The initial one.
Mhm.
It's okay. We can do the proper celebration later after the mission is fully over and done with.
So,
Is there any time to work on your gift?
you'll have to make 2 jumps at the very least, perhaps 3,
Okay.
in order to get back to Coruscant.
Okay. I
It will
support Kachi
I'm
if he
guessing one
needs
to Mandalore
for
and then one
anything.
from Mandalore to Coruscant. Yeah, at the very
not
least.
Mandalore.
Not Mandalore.
You need to get here.
To Centaurus
Yes.
to actually get onto the lane and then jump all the way to Coruscant.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
this will take you 1 to 2 days.
Oh, we might
Okay.
get. Oh, we'll
And
get to Coruscant on Elena's birthday. That's convenient.
Mhm.
that means it is enough time for your little prisoner to
Wake
actually
up.
wake up.
Little pigs, let me come in.
I don't know if she's that depraved yet.
So, does anyone is anyone studying guard or dark side points? Why do you need dark side points? I can give them to you, but still you have to
You have to earn them.
you have to earn them.
Stop trying to get me dark side points, Cloud.
So, is anyone near the area watching over?
Yes.
I mean, I'm
Sure.
probably planted in the pilot seat.
I'll probably say Joanne's standing guard at the door, and Elena's on just the other side of the room, so she can step in if you need her.
Just move your characters wherever you.
I'm perfectly in
think they-
position on the couch on the
Okay.
other side.
Okay then.
Neo is
Stepping-
also perfectly positioned. He's just on there checking the systems and all the stuff in case we need to do something.
Mooden's eating all the food. He's in a bad
Dwayne,
mood.
since
Perfect.
you're the one closer, roll a perception check.
That's not what I wanted to do. Crap. That was terrible.
What? Why? For who are you demanding that?
Uh, you think you heard something? You're not sure. Maybe it was.
Should I roll as well? Because
Something
I'm literally
else.
just the other side of the hall.
Yeah. Why not?
I should
Be enforced strict.
I should be close enough.
I think you mean I should go.
My planet needs me.
The stream is over now for you. Perception.
Again!
God damn it!
We got two incompetent Jedi over there.
The twins.
Jalena reborn.
Identical twins, even.
Are you sure Joanne's not secretly a miniature human?
Are
Well,
you
I
sure
mean,
you're not secretly just a bigger Jawa?
my roll is not that much better, but yeah. So after a while, you can hear a knock coming from the door there.
Who is it?
Who's there?
Is it my Domino's? I wanted this pizza for a while now. You're
Mears,
supposed to be
have
here.
in mind,
You're supposed to be
have
delivering
in
in
mind that
30
I am
minutes.
on the ship systems before you know the issue does anything. Would I notice anything through the systems?
Yep.
Is this my
Okay.
Pizza Hut delivery?
You hear
Finally,
her-
you're supposed to be here half an hour ago. You say your policy is delivering within 30 minutes. You owe me $5 off my pizza.
You can hear her voice without any interference from her mask this time. Or helmet, I should say. It says, well, who do you expect to be?
You put up quite a threat back there.
It could be worse, I guess.
This is always true.
Would you mind telling me where are we heading?
Well, for now. And you have to understand, of course. This is just procedure. Nothing personal. We're on our way back to Coruscant.
Ah, Coruscant. Would you mind telling me what do you plan to do with me?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't even know why we took you along. Honestly, we got what we came for.
I'm the wrong person.
Elena just stares daggers at Joanne.
Dwayne puts the finger up to his lips.
Elena's not even speaking, she's just looking.
So you don't know what you're going to do.
I don't. But I'm not really the one calling the shots here.
Ah. So who does?
If you don't know that,
Get
you're in
that.
worse shape than you think.
I'm just asking my questions. Does anyone want to actually have a normal conversation here or not?
Mir's question. Does the ship has a PDA system?
PA, not
PA, sorry.
PDA.
PA system.
Uh, does it? That's a good question, actually. I'm not sure what the. Come on.
It's an older
I'm
sound
gonna
system, sir, but it
The
checks out.
Imperial. The
I'm gonna
Imperial.
bet it doesn't. Canonically, I don't think it would.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
think so
Mhm.
either.
Yeah,
I'm
same,
thinking the
but I
same
just
thing.
had to ask.
You could invent one.
So let's go with no at this point.
Okay. So,
So,
question.
okay, look, here's the deal. Out of character, I'm completely drawing a blank. I don't even know why we took her with us.
It was
Just to
Neo's
turn her
idea.
over to the New Republic.
Yeah, New Republic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn her over to the New Republic and basically let them deal with her as as they see fit. She is an Inquisitor after all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer so certain on that.
It's that we know we can't take risks, Now is the time if you want to investigate if he is an Inquisitor or not.
Elena sent a space text to Neo. I think she's
This,
awake.
this is
A
out.
space
This is
text.
out of character that I'm saying.
I
I
know.
know, I know.
Yeah, in character, Elena sent a space text to Neo. I think she's awake.
Yeah, sends you a text. I know. I'm on the ship systems. I'm saying it.
You know, I out of character, I just realized I missed the golden opportunity for a joke. Oh, you're finally awake.
You were you were
You were
caught
close
trying to.
to trying to pass the border.
Oh
So you're being
god.
taken to the Republic to stand trial. Hopefully, you can stay execution.
You are being found guilty for possibly being part of the Imperial insurrection. Ulf- Ulfric Empire cloak.
Is anyone going uh to try and maintain a conversation after she said
So,
that or not?
okay, I'm sorry. I'm just pulling your leg. The plan is to hand you over to the authorities. We have friends among the authorities. We can make sure that they treat you right and well. You may even have a friend that you'd be able to see. I don't know.
Authorities back on Coruscant, the New
Yeah,
Republic.
yeah. Do you actually have something against them?
Not particularly, no. And I doubt that they have something on me. Which begs the question, what exactly would they do with me?
I don't really know. That's up ultimately to them. What I do know is that we have several friends that would like to know exactly what these um, artifacts that we picked up from you are all about. If you
Friends,
answer their questions, you could they'll probably just let you go.
I highly doubt that. Delivering me to the New Republic, well, at least according to my understanding, is not going to be good for anyone. Mainly me.
Mainly you. Are you afraid you'll be
You don't
vulnerable?
say out of character. This is
Well, as I said before, they don't actually have anything against me, but that doesn't mean they cannot invent something.
Hmm. What
Let's
would
say
you?
that I
What are
haven't
you afraid that
heard.
they would invent
I don't
on
know.
you?
Let's say that I haven't heard very good things about their demeanor towards people like me.
Hmm. Well, you'll understand that is pretty well founded. Just saying.
Well
I
timed Facebook
actually
ding.
don't. What makes you say that?
Well, first, what do you mean by people like you? Are you
For
talking about
sensitives.
Dathomir Witch?
Well,
For
that
sensitives.
could play a role too, but mainly yes.
So
It's the
for
force
sensitives in
sensitivity
general.
thing. Yeah.
Hmm. Ah. Well, at least on one side of that, we're working on getting that flipped around.
Good luck with that, I guess.
Thanks. We'll probably need it.
Hmm. Speaking of the things that you have acquired, at least I hope that you have acquired them and not destroyed them.
You- Hmm. Why are you afraid we destroy them? Something important?
Let's say yes, there is something important that I had on my person, not anymore. Best stay away from it. You can make the connection that she's talking about the crystal.
Okay.
And I just got it somewhere safe. Don't worry about it.
You should probably DM Riss where exactly it is you have it, just in case.
Yeah.
While I joke about, oh, well, if it's your helmet you're worried about, don't worry.
Is that it? No
Uh,
follow up. Just don't worry.
Oh, good. At least we're gonna have a fun time with the jokes and all. You can hear a small irony in your voice.
you don't say.
Out of character. I know I'm awful. But I think this is actually what Joanne would do, so.
That's the safest place I can think of for it, Maris. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
In the boobs, of course.
No, Max.
Let me joke, damn it.
So, I have to say that I did underestimate you somewhat.
That makes two of us.
I. It seems that you're the only one around, or you are the only one that is actually inclined to talk with me. It's not bad, I guess. You said that you have friends that are going to question me. Anything specific I should know? Any warnings?
So long as you're straight with them, you have nothing to fear.
You don't hear any reply on that. After a bit, you can hear again saying, "Do you trust those people?"
I do.
Well, only time will tell, I guess.
Don't let time prove me right the other way. I beg you.
One, two, three. For sensitive people of the group,
Oh.
roll use the force check.
19 good enough?
17 good enough?
Oh, we have everything. 19, 17, 18.
Why do you need to force point that
Oh,
cloud?
because he wants to be the highest.
Cloud is the silent.
He's in a bad.
Apparently, no, it's not enough.
Holy crap!
Give me a second. Allow me to. Now it is.
Apparently, no, it's not
No,
enough.
Okay,
no,
I
no.
guess
That's
we're
me.
down
Hit the
to
39.
me, and I need a
Yep,
freaking 6.
yep.
You can do it.
I
Oh.
did it!
Okay,
Yes!
Yes!
Now it is!
Three
So-
force points down the drain, but we did it, boys.
Wayne, you you are able to tell that you have picked some kind of force ability being used. Nothing around you changes though. Nothing happens.
She's trying to use mind trick. She's the anti-Elena.
Oh god.
But you have felt that something she she did something in there. If you have cameras installed and anything inside, I'm talking for the people.
Yeah.
If we're going to establish that as the brig, I would say yes.
Yes. You don't see her doing anything actually. She just stands there and in a
Do we
meditative
see
position.
anything in any of the other cameras?
No, nothing inside the ship moves or does anything suspicious.
She might be meditating on the dark side. Communion with these awful artifacts. Or something. I don't know.
So this happens, and
I imagine while all of this is happening, Neo and Ketch are just relaxed there, you know. You look at camera, Ketch is driving, and we're hearing music there. All worried about the powerful Dark Force user doing something awful.
Down, 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 down.
No, that was
down,
last
down.
week.
Can't
Yes.
it just beat the same track?
So now that you have concluded your first jump and you're preparing for the next one, and it will take you 1 to 1.5 days to get to
Mhm.
Coruscant,
Mhm.
and you're relaxing again.
Mhm.
At some point,
Mhm.
uh, if you don't bring her anything,
Mhm.
you can hear her
We are
voice
not.
again.
I will say this: we are not
Yes.
inhuman. We feed our prisoners.
We do
Dwayne,
feed them here.
Okay.
you just don't feed Dwayne.
Who's gonna bring the food inside the
Neo is not
brig?
going to. He's going to prepare the food for everyone, including the prisoner, but he's not going to get close to
And
her.
no, Elena's
So,
no, don't. This time you don't have to automatically volunteer Elena because she's a woman.
oh no, here is like, who wants to give the prisoner her food? And when they look at him and says, "I'm not going close to anyone that can brainwash me if I have a choice ever again."
Elena
Um,
goes. Elena just
I
looks at Dwayne
mean,
and go, "I'll come with you if you. I'll come with you. You decide to do it."
appreciate that.
Okay.
So this time,
Okay.
Elena will also be in the conversation if that happens.
Okay.
Food delivery then. Do you open the
Yep.
door?
Mm-hmm.
Pizza delivery.
Neo shows her, there what he cooked, nothing much, pretty standard, normal food there. And
We
salad,
we
some
we, we
meat,
should have we should have probably
and a
installed
drink there.
a
Not
hatch or something.
Hey, yeah, smart Jedi people, have you checked the integrity of the brig since you put her in there? You know, just in case she's trying to weaken it to escape.
Joanne.
I'm not that technical. I'll go tech savvy. Am I?
Da-da-da-da.
Neo can check that while he delivers the food. There. I imagine that if it is a brick, there are small spaces where we can put the food, so Neo pass it there.
He just passes the door under the
It's
food under
already cut and everything, so she only needs to use the fork. So she doesn't have anything else more than the fork there.
the force fork.
The
Fork.
paranoia.
You do realize how much she can do
I
with a
know
fork.
I know she can do too much, but we're not uncivilized.
Just give her some
And
finger.
it's why Neo didn't want to
Make
get
her
close to
finger
that,
food.
super well.
Make her some finger food. That way we don't have the security risk of a fork.
Okay, so a spoon, something that requires a spoon.
You know how much
Neo
you
makes.
could do with a spoon?
Have you
You
not
could
seen
carve
the
your heart
spoon
out.
killer?
Look, we're not uncivilized. We don't force people to eat with their hands.
Have you not seen the spoon killer?
Have you not? Have you?
Yeah.
Have you not met Gunter O'Dim?
Fix up your most gourmet finger food.
Give her a.
Okay, he
Make
gives
her
her
a
a
very.
burger.
Make a calzone. You can eat calzone with your fingers.
Okay, he makes her a burger. Okay, got it.
Oh God.
Just to spite her, you make her a veggie burger. The torture.
Nothing of that stupid crap that it's made up because you don't want to admit that you are eating just vegetables.
Exactly. It's a
None
veg.
of that crap here. Kick it out. All right.
It's just a. It's
You
a
either have a burger or you have salad. None of that crap here.
Jesus, Max, I was only joking. That's just an extra discount form
In
of
any case,
torture.
Neo gives her a burger, and I'm going to roll mechanics so he checks the integrity of the brick.
So, are you entering then?
I say there should be a space in the brick where food can pass on.
He's just gonna put it under the door and
He
then run away
takes it
run
from
away screaming.
outside. Give me a second that I do a force point because that's low. Oh,
Oh,
wow,
no.
That's really low.
at least it's just a 25.
Everything seems fine.
He's just gonna put.
Okay, I don't like that.
He just puts the
Especially
food
your
under
turn.
the
But
door
after
and then just
taking
runs
that
away
space,
screaming.
okay,
There is
he
no
goes
under the
away.
door. It's a Star Wars door.
He opens the door,
Yes.
puts it down, and runs.
It's actually a Star Wars door. There is no, mm, you know.
There should be an opening where you put the food and you close it. You're having
No,
a
Listen,
Yes,
listen,
it's
Maris,
torture.
prisoner
it's a
here.
Star Wars. Listen,
You don't do stupid things like leaving the door, forcing you to enter
listen,
where the
Maris,
prisoner
it's very
is.
simple. It's very simple. It's a Star Wars door in the Star Wars door. It's just a mini Star Wars door in the greater Star Wars door.
Look, Max,
It's a Star Wars
there
door
isn't
that
a.
it doesn't open, and it
no.
has
It's
a touchpad that Neo presses.
before we
Lowers
make
an
this
entry where you can put the food there. It moves
before we
the
make
prisoner,
this a
closes
Looney
up.
Tunes before we make this a Looney Tunes scenario where Bugs Bunny opens a bajillion of doors one after another.
That's what he does.
I can already get rid of that.
Look, Max, there is an opening where she can put the food and you can leave it to it. It's called her mouth. I'm just saying.
Here's the thing: if you have not actually made those modifications on the door, it
I
doesn't
would have
help.
made them because Neo
Okay.
is not stupid.
Yeah, it was
If
paranoid.
we are going to um
If we have a rig, Neo is not going to make it so that the prisoner has chance to escape. So no, he's not going to make it the door and opening and closing constantly to give them food.
Okay.
There's an
So you
there's an
open.
opening that he can open on the door,
Okay,
put the
how
food there, and close
how
it.
big is the opening?
Yeah.
Large
Enough
enough
for
to
a
shove a
plate
plate
to
of food
enter
to.
and to be put there and be closed again. It
So
has
Nia,
a small
So there's two doors. There's the door, and then there's the door within the door.
it has like a table made on the door there where the food is put after the moment
Okay.
that opens
he
and it's
just
closed
he just puts the food down and runs away.
and close it. I'm not going to leave that open.
He's still gonna run away though.
Are you going to peek inside at all?
The brick is not look. That the door has that doesn't mean that the brick doesn't have ways to look at it from outside. Neo's not going to leave to make it so that if you are there close to the brick, you don't see what the prisoner can do.
There we go. Just knock on the door. Hey, prisoner, we got some gourmet food for you.
Listen,
No, Neo is not going to knock that. He's going to open there,
I've
put the
made
food,
an
and there's
expert diagram of what this looks like.
Amazing.
It's a cat flap.
Beautiful.
It's just a cat flap.
Anyway,
We can do that if you want to.
Clearly took time, but you had time.
so you slide the food inside.
Oh my.
We close it that.
Mm-hmm. You close that, and you hear from the other side. You know that if I wanted, I could unhinge the door, right?
The door doesn't have a hinge though.
And Neo that looks at her and says,
What hinge?
"You haven't done
What
that,
would
and
you
if
do? Would
do
you try
that,
to take
you
us
are
all on again?
Can I finish?
Yes.
Neo is there talking? Okay, thank you. Neo looks at her and says, "You haven't done that, and if you do that, well, it's another fight. Only that you are unequipped this time. So, says Neo, I will
Exactly.
take my
Why
chances.
would I do anything stupid at this position that I'm
You
currently
never
in?
know," says Neo.
I don't know.
We
That's what we're
could be
trying to
under
figure
attack,
out.
and you take your chances. Never
I
hurts
think
to be
I've
precavious.
already proven that I'm not suicidal.
You're not, but that doesn't mean, like I said, that we couldn't be attacked by someone, pirate, whatever. You never know, and you take your chances if we are in a complicated tight situation.
Ah, I
So
see.
better be safe than sorry.
I see. So you're the paranoid member of the crew.
Oh, yes, very.
Yes.
You could call me
Very.
that. Yeah, I prefer to be called careful.
I prefer to be called. I thought you'd prefer to be called Neo.
Some call me paranoid, but you may call me Neo.
This is already so much fun.
It is.
Do I even need to clip anything? I just highlight the entire stream.
For now,
That is counterproductive, Cord.
This is not how clipping works. Anyway,
But you can do it.
That's like clipping a 43-minute section of a thing. It's not a clip. That's a
That's a
TV
video.
episode.
You're gonna dig
But
at me
it's
for
all
that.
funny. But it's all awesome.
You're still gonna dig at me for misclicking my clicks.
at some point you hear of something banging on the door and says, "I'm
Mhm.
done."
yeah, that's opens the
Cat flap.
entrance below.
Okay.
Could you please slide uh the plate? In English, the word was escaping me.
The plate.
You see the plate slowly sliding on its own outside.
Neo takes it, says thanks, closes the lid, and goes to the kitchen to clean the dishes.
I would think Neo's perfectly used to this by now from when Elena was treating herself off in her own room. Give me the plate. The plate moves on its own. Thank you.
Another expert
Dwayne-
diagram.
Dwayne actually points that out. Yeah, that's not the first time he's seen that.
Yeah, I can imagine that it could be something unusual that Jawain or Elena just move with a forcefully plate because it's easier than moving themselves.
Look, it just reminds me
Say,
of Elena's depression days. That's all it is.
say, Jedi folks, I was
Mhm.
under the impression you were all wiped out.
Looks can be deceiving.
Do you actually say that?
Why not?
Looks can be deceiving. Anyway, yeah, they can. I mean, you were so blind you couldn't see the enemy just in front of you. Ah,
Unfortunately, I could say the exact same thing about the Dathomiri.
well, we were somewhat disconnected from everything.
I could say the same thing was true about the Jedi. Was.
Unfortunately.
True enough. I'm wondering if one of your friends is a survivor because you two seem young to be survivors.
We could have survived in our own way. You seem too young
Well,
to be a survivor as well.
I mean, yes, I am a survivor.
As am I. Survival can take many forms.
I will survive.
I have half a mind to ask you a few things, but I'm not so sure that you're going to answer.
You won't know unless you ask.
Very well. What is your opinion for the New Republic? What have you seen thus far?
Can't say I can have a comprehensive view. I haven't really seen enough of it yet.
It is a slow start. Having to deal with the clearing up the junk that was left behind probably isn't helping much, but they have to.
Fair enough. And now for the more important question, I guess. How much do you know about your own order?
I know it was never really my order.
That's interesting. What about you, miss?
My name's not Maris. I had to.
Dread.
Anyway, back in character. Um, I can't say I know enough about the Jedi to actually form an opinion, despite being trained by them.
Imagine that. Would you be surprised if I told you that this was true with most of the Order's initiates back in the day where it was still a thing?
No, I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, after everything I've learned.
Yeah, they did kind of do some things quite a bit shadily, and I use that term as
Shadily.
graciously as possible.
You also use it shadily.
That is encouraging to hear because I was afraid that you were going to actually destroy those items. Then again, I don't know who's gonna take care of them in the end.
Trusted people. People we can trust with their upkeep.
I would hope
Yeah,
it'd be someone who would learn how to apply the actual knowledge that would need to come from these items better than, well, better than anyone who would misuse them.
Hmm. What do you know
And
of
I
these
would
items?
I know that they are similar to, at least among them is are some things similar enough to what
I'll tell you
I
that
had
there are
been
a
exposed to.
few of them that are actually dangerous, being created by Sith and all, but most of them are actually harmless, I would say.
Mm.
They are things that were forcefully taken from the original places. Most,
Oh, and you were just going to retrieve them from the thieves.
no. I was going to examine them, see what I can learn from them.
Mm.
That's why I was asking whether you were going to destroy them or not. It would be quite the same for things that can show us past events to be destroyed and lost. A lot of things have been lost already. Both the Jedi and the Sith have seen to it.
Yeah. I mean, I have no intent on actually destroying anything. I trust somebody that has far more wisdom than I to make that call for themselves.
Besides, destruction should only be a last resort occasion in any event.
Take
It's not.
that whatever you, however you will. I'm saying that out of whatever limited experience I have, but I've seen it. I've seen this pattern occurring enough.
And from a limited experience I have, sometimes the things, how the learning is applied is far more dangerous than the learning itself.
Not saying that the knowledge itself should be lost.
Oh, I'm not. I agree. It's just we need to find, if in order to prevent that knowledge being misused, we have to find ways of actually containing it. And right
Just to be
now,
clear here, I have to say that I'm not an ally of what the Sith uh,
oh, I know.
were doing and advocating. I view them as how to say it?
Heretics.
No, not heretics. I
They're not really
that
heretics if they actually followed their own stuff, are they?
exactly. It's their whole thing to
You don't agree with their philosophy.
uh, let's say no, I don't. I find them utterly narcissistic megalomaniacs that worship themselves.
And how do you view the Jedi?
The Jedi, from the things that I have learned and seen, I think that the Jedi have forgotten what they're supposed to be a long, long way back.
Can't say I
From
disagree.
from
Are you
what
trying to
little I
say? Are you trying to say a long, long time ago?
Yes.
In a galaxy far away, is Naboo
Naboo
under?
was under an.
God
no,
damn.
this
God damn it! God damn it! We could just do this peeker all day.
For example, if you think that almost no Jedi from the past 1000 years, I would say, knew anything about of how the order started, roll a perception.
about I'm about to say, but I also want to ask no matter what. Do you?
Well, I've been privy to some more details that most of them
It's not
would
too.
have available, I
It's not
guess.
terrible.
Ugh.
Do I need a force point on that?
Uh, Not necessarily. You can roll it just because you will
I'll roll it to get a better answer.
guarantee get.
No matter what, you'll get a better answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it for the better answer. Yeah, it's a better answer.
Yes. You can tell that she's not using any force abilities. But you can see that she has a way with words,
She really is the
and
anti-Elena.
and she is maybe she's poking around to find, you know, any openings or common ground so that she can gain whatever leverage or trust she can. And everyone's dead. Great.
Campaign over. Quest complete. um. What ulterior motive do you have in asking us these questions and discerning our answers?
I'm just trying to get a better understanding of how much you know and what you want to do actually. My guess is that you don't really know.
How can one ever really know what they want to do until we're already doing it?
That's a fair point. Let me see. Yes. Uh, as someone I know told me once, if what you're doing is crystal clear, then i- you're probably doing that someone else has already established for you. Anyway, if you want to know a few things that might be very well lost to most people, if completely from everyone, I might have a few interesting things for you.
What's in it for you?
Not turning me in to the New Republic for beginners.
I can't guarantee I won't do that, but I can guarantee that they treat you fairly.
Or
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 He's thinking about it.
well, we'll have to meet with them anyway. And he looks at Elena. Hopefully, she knows exactly
yes,
who
she
he's
does.
talking about.
Yes, she does. Out of character.
If we can do that first, getting all of that out of the way, and we have cooperation from all sides, maybe you don't need to be turned in at all.
hmm, I can work with that.
Out of character, you mean Kikuk and Ilva mainly, right?
Yes.
Good, that's what I thought.
Who did he mention? Sorry, I didn't hear well. The name of the character that I didn't mention.
You mean not Cord mentioned because Elena's not saying it out loud.
Okay, who core mentioned then? Sorry.
Kukruk and Ilva.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
sure.
the trick is the people who are actually, so back in character, the trick is the people who are actually our friends, they're the ones we want to make sure that you meet and have a chance to talk with and share questions and answers.
Okay. Fine. That sounds at least somewhat promising for me, so I will play along.
Okay. That work for you, Elena?
Elena just nods.
Great. See? We can get along.
Very well then. I think I will take some time to relax in my spacious suite that you have prepared for me.
Hey, look.
Nothing but the best.
Look, when you think about it, you actually have the biggest space on this ship. Believe it or not.
I'm not sure, but the way you say it, I don't doubt it.
I mean, I'm not even lying. So,
Yeah.
This is no lux- This is no luxury yacht, unfortunately.
Hmm. And that would be all for now.
agreed.
So, you're fast approaching Coruscant. What is the plan? Are you going to?
Have 2 days passed yet?
Yes.
Then we know
We're
what we're
going to
doing.
say yes.
But we know what we're doing.
Happy birthday, Elena!
Elena's just
Seems
trying to talk.
fair.
Elena's just trying to talk to the cook. Yeah, Master, we're coming in now. Got some. We've got some things to talk about. And Catch just pops up in the background.
Okay, so you are making contact with Kukuruka.
Well, I think we should, so we can get him. We can get some clarity on on the situation. Make
Okay.
sure at least Kukruk gets to see the prisoner before the New Republic catches wind.
Okay.
Didn't
Do
you
we
call
invite him on board the
Londo?
ship?
We do invite him on board the ship.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
good.
There he
Jesus,
is.
he's grown.
In all his
Of
massive
course.
glory.
I
He's
mean,
big and angry.
then again, he is a whiffet, so he should be that big.
Mm-hmm.
He's bigger and he's angrier.
What happened? Is everyone all right? Were you able
Neo,
to?
this says, yeah, don't worry about it. Just attacked by a force user. Typical. Uh, this-
Oh, then what we feared actually happened.
Among other things.
Elena just has a smile on her face. Don't worry. We just we kept calm and powered through. Elena
That's
just
good to hear.
Some of us literally, says Neo, that looking at Jawain.
Elena just taps Joanne on the shoulder. He's becoming quite the powerful person. I'm impressed.
Ah, stop! You're making me blush.
You see that Kukuruk smiles and says, "Never doubted." Uh, so were you able to find whatever artifacts Kelleran was talking
Most
about?
we've acquired most of them. A portion of them had been taken off world by the mares before we could get there. We're working right now to try and pinpoint an exact location.
Hmm, that is well. Let's be optimistic here. At least you found most of them. What about the troubles that you had? You mentioned a Force user.
Oh, she's here with us in the brig. I want you to have a good look at her and get an assessment before we decide to hand her over to the authorities. If we decide to do that.
You know Kukrov well enough to discern what the facial his facial expression means. It
Mhm.
is not again and at the same time concerned.
I thought you were ready to trust my judgment. Elena says, teasingly, trying to get a smile out of him.
It's not that I don't trust your judgment, it's that, well, more trouble for all of us.
Isn't it always?
Neo, that's and you can hear Neo's voice as on an echo as the Himakakuk, are going to the regional. He says,
Second verse,
"Welcome to the
same as the first.
club."
What can you tell me of that person?
Well, she's interesting, to say the least. She had gotten a hold of an Inquisitor's lightsaber. Whether or not she's an actual Inquisitor, I am unsure. She's definitely a Dathomiri, though.
Oh, more of them. Great.
Yeah. Speaking of, wait, did you also contact Ilva?
Oh wait,
Yeah.
I need to do that. Would you like to, Joanne? Would you mind taking Master Cook to the prisoner while I handle that?
Sure. So, about this prisoner, Kukruk, he says as they march back to the brig area.
Okay.
She is, oddly enough, quite. Well, she wasn't completely accommodating at first, but she kind of gave up. She's a bit of a survivalist, I guess you would say. I guess she would actually call herself one of those too. And then he pounds on the door. Hello?
It actually knocked.
Yes.
Hey, so that friend that I mentioned?
Oh,
Yeah.
a new friend for me to meet. Hooray.
Don't be like that. And don't be alarmed. I beg you. That'll go a long way, I promise. I promised her maybe some leniency,
Leniency.
dependent on how she cooperates. I don't know if that's actually going to be possible.
Have you told of her to anyone else?
You're the first one.
Ah, great. Okay. Let's see what let's see what this person is all about then, I guess. And you see that he moves towards the door, opens it up, and
Boom, 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 boom,
you
boom.
see that inside is uh, the Dathomirian just sitting in a corner with her cuffs. Uh, Her hair has been completely dissolved from how it's called,
Her
the
hair is.
braid, the braid that she had before
Oh god, her
while
hair is
wearing the
dissolved. She's
helmet.
gone bald.
Yes, I mean they're not. They are loose now, and she's wrapped herself up black, uh, with her black cowl. And for the first time, you can see that you can see her face while her being awake.
And now she's a believer.
Yes, now she's a believer. You can see it's you can see that she has very inquisitive
Aha!
Ha ha ha. What creative guy you are.
Yes,
That
Darth
was,
Janitor is
and that was
happening.
his last
Uh,
misstep.
Sarcasm doesn't mean Josh Janitor. God damn it. For you, it's everything is Dark Janitor.
everything
I
means
say,
Darth
I say
Janitor at
hi.
this
Oh,
point.
look, Dark Janitor.
Yes.
Saying hi
Um,
was your first dark side point. Just saying.
you see that she has a smart. Um, she seems like a smart person. The way she looks around, her whole demeanor. She goes, ah, we fit if I'm not mistaken.
I could tell because the room got smaller.
Crook walks in and says, yes. So, the others told me that you are somewhat, come on, cooperative. Yes, well, given my situation, I didn't have much of a choice. I could try to do something risky, I guess, but it wouldn't end up well for me in either case. Best scenario, I would get everyone killed, me included. I don't like the sound of that. Hmm. So, what can you tell me about yourself? And as they're having the conversation, you can stay there and listen, or just move on. Say that we have a good interrogation sanction
I
with
mean,
Kukruk.
Alena will stay nearby just in case Crooked needs her, but her main concern is,
Okay,
hey, Ilva, come to the ship. I need to talk to you.
okay. So, just to circumvent that, you see that Kukruk is asking some questions. First of all, if she's actually Inquisitor and all that stuff,
He's
which she
inquiring.
claims, yes, which she claims that she's not. She was trained to be one uh, by a member of the Inquisitorius, but she was kept a secret from the rest of the order. The Inquisitor that found her arrived on Dathomir in search of dark side lore. She wasn't able to find much because, as she says, Dathomir does not yield its secrets to outsiders.
He, nor was Darkside Law visiting at the time. I don't think he would ever visit. Darkside Law's trying to do his lamentations.
Oh my god. And, well, she was unable to find anything um, to use, but she was able to find her. Uh, and she saw some potential in her and took her to start training her.
And her name was Barris Offey.
From what it seems, she had ambitious plans, this Inquisitor. She was thinking of making some strategic tactical moves against the others, maybe killing some of them, and why not establishing herself as the leader of the Inquisitors. After that, she had even more ambitious plans, perhaps finding a way to undermine Lord Vader's authority and finding a way to get rid of him and maybe replacing him as a confidant to the Emperor. It is hazy what she had in her mind exactly, but from what she says, it was obvious, at least to her, that this plan was not going to work. Because it was quite obvious that the Sith were withholding um, the best dark side techniques and the lore and stuff like that for themselves. They were not sharing that with the Inquisitors. Plus, from what she has heard, a lot of them have lost limbs from Lord Vader during the training sessions. So, she had made the choice that she didn't want to actually get involved in all this madness because she knew she was going to end up pretty badly, no matter what. But she saw the merit of her training. At some point, she grew tired of waiting and listening the ramblings of her Inquisitor Master and demanded uh, to let her roam freely, to start finding things and lore concerning the Force in general and making their way off of that, trying to find something that you know has not already been found by the Sith and taken advantage of. But she didn't actually. But her master didn't actually agree with that. And so, at some point, she had enough and challenged her, overpowered her, killed her, took her lightsaber, did her best to cover her tracks in order to, you know, because no one, at least from as far as she knew, no one knew of her existence. And she left for the Outer Rim because it was the only place that the Empire had a less tight grip. And she began working as a mercenary for whoever was going to pay for her services the biggest price. Most often than not, that meant crime lords, and most often than not, these crime lords were hacks. And she seemed quite, oddly enough, um, not fond, but come on, pleased with how the hats handled their business.
Water shark.
They were no nonsense people. They were paying. They were always paying up in time the agreed amount, and they would give even more work to people that they deemed, uh, you know, capable of taking care of things. After that, Ilva arrives in the ship
Mhm.
and says, "So, what is this important thing that you wanted to talk to me?"
If Elena and the others, you know, are there on the rig, Neo looks at her and says, "We have a rig right around there." Points to the way there. They are there.
Okay, she goes inside herself and she arrives at the door.
Oh, Hilda.
And the discussion continues. A small briefing of what was said earlier, and after that, you see that Ilva is just looking at her,
Mhm.
and at some point she says, "You are one of the few surviving Night correct?" She looks at her and says, "Yes, that is correct."
I've been waiting for so long.
Oh god.
Please don't tell me, baby, but I was
I
wrong.
That was Frelisk. Frelisk is suddenly here.
yes, Frelisk has changed
Look, this is
career.
the culmination of everything up to this point, all right? Of course,
Yep.
Frillus' voice is going to show up from out of nowhere.
And she asks some very let's say
Precise.
precise questions. Yes, it's like where did you grow up? And she says that she was actually the Night Sisters themselves had, as the rest of the witch clans on Dathomir, they didn't all exist in the same place. Uh, the Night Sisters consisted of three separate clans. Her clan was not anywhere near where Mother Talzin's clan was, but still, they were Night Sisters. They were meeting quite often. Um, the Night Sister clans were meeting quite often to perform, come on, rituals and other uh, interesting things together. And from her clan, she says that she hasn't found anyone else that survived, and she was in quite feral state at the beginning because she was quite little when this when the attack happened. Then Ilva asks if she knows about Yena, and she says yes. I actually wanted to take those artifacts off her hands the moment I found out about them. Says what she knows about her and stuff like that. She asks her if she knows of any other surviving uh, witches, which she says I knew of other two, but she knows for a fact that they're both dead at this point. There is also the question by your hand, and the answer is no, but I have killed other force sensitives. Uh, and at that point, Kukruk asks her, "What's the point? What is your goal? What are you trying to do, pretty much?" And she says that at the start, the beginning, she had an ambitious plan herself. She wanted to make a small, not a small, to start making an organization of her own organization in the Outer Rim. And she was doing great. But then, as she says, and everyone that is listening to that, I want you to roll a perception check. Then she had an epiphany. Ah, perfect.
Jesus, why am I rolling so low?
Oh, question for Cloud. Once you arrive, are you taking um,
Your artifacts out with
the
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
artifact in question and leave right
yeah.
away, or are you going to wait a bit?
Wait a bit. I mean, as the moment we have decided what are we doing on Coruscant,
Hmm.
Well, I need to
um,
do something, so that's your. And I need to do something more private, so that's your opportunity to leave, I
yeah.
guess.
When we have decided what are we doing, I'm doing my stuff basically, and say I will meet you on the ship when we are going to depart. So basically, when I'm done with my stuff, I will be back. I'm not like, oh, we touched ground, I'm leaving.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But like the moment we have decided we are splitting off for the now, I'm leaving and come back
Okay.
later.
Okay, and you're taking
Uh.
the artifact with you.
Yes,
Okay,
and
just
it's not that
making sure.
they don't have my contact. It's just I don't
Yeah.
really have something to do with them. right now,
This is Cloud's
I know.
excuse to
as
not
it
to
is.
not roleplay. Got it.
Yep.
That's fine.
And yes, you don't actually discern anything from that answer.
There is
Kukruk
enough.
does.
There is enough. There is enough.
Kukruk does question here though, what kind of realization that was, and he says, "I found that that pursuit was not going to lead anywhere, and instead she decided to use what contacts she had already acquired to pull whatever strings she had the power to pull and start searching for artifacts that are connected with the force. At that point, I want to remind you all that she was searching for something specific. At least there was one of the things that she was searching that was somewhat specific. I'm saying that for Neo specifically because he was the one that browsed through the database. Is Max Time there? Can he hear us?
He's be right back.
Oh no!
Neo had a panic attack and collapsed. He's he's just not paying attention.
Anyway, let's
But we
continue.
need him.
And when Max Time comes back, can continue. We can continue that.
Let's
And
just continue to try and sit as formally as she can while also trying not to look
Mhm.
awkward in that birthday girl in that birthday girl sash that the party have forced on her body.
Long story short, it seems that she's quite skilled taking out other force users. Uh, I mean, that's what she was trained.
To
That's
do.
exactly what she was trained to do. Um, and she has a lot of people that she knows around. She has a lot of favors that she can actually, uh, you know, ask for to be repaid. And uh, the Kukruk asks her about come on, the mercenaries that were working for her, and she says that I had a long relation with those because the commander and her had interesting history. The current commander of the mercenary company. He was actually an ISB agent that was dispatched to investigate rumors about someone using a lightsaber reminiscent to hers in the Outer Rim. Because, of course, some bystanders were actually able to see the lightsaber at some point. And he went there to investigate with other agents. He was clever and able enough to find her, not good enough to defeat her, though. And she spared his life and made a deal that he couldn't refuse, as he said, which was to abandon the empire and start working along with her. Given that his life was on the line, he took the obvious option.
He's back.
Oh, he's back. Okay,
Yeah, I'm back. Check the Discord for a second there.
okay. She said that she. Okay,
It's why I said check the
yeah, yeah.
Discord.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
So she said that her point, her goal is to uncover as many
Yeah, I
artifacts and
know,
stuff like that.
I
Okay.
know, I know. I like I said, I had my wireless headset on. So I know exactly what you said. So tell me exactly what do you need me, to
Do.
Perfect.
do,
Uh,
remember, etc.
yes,
Because
you remember from the database that you have.
a question, I am there because if I'm not there, I'm not sure if we don't have audio cameras or something
That's
like
up to
that.
you.
That I Okay, then the answer is I'm not there because it's Jedi stuff. If they need me, they will call me.
Okay
That's my
then.
mentality.
Okay.
Elena sent you a space text.
Nothing happens then. And she finishes off. She pretty much finishes her story, and then says, "So now that you know about it, what are you going to do? Are you going to give me to the New Republic to be trialed for things that I have not done?"
Elena just instantly looks up and go, "What do you want to do with her, Ilva?"
She looks at her and she says, "She's dabbling with dangerous forces. She's also withholding some information from us. I'm not sure if they are.
Or a shock, someone withholding information from us.
Yes, I'm not very sure if they are groundbreaking or not, though. And having said that, I do agree that we shouldn't give her to the New Republic. But then again, I was saying that for Yena as well. Plus, and that she conveys a little bit more in private with the rest of you, she doesn't seem completely lost as Yena is.
Yeah, Yenna's pretty unhinged. I think that regardless of anything else, getting these artifacts out of her hands probably would have was a plus.
Yes, the thing is, what are we going to do with her? I'm reluctant to just let her walk away. She clearly has more in her mind than she lets on.
That's why I'm willing to let you decide that. Elena says, looking at her.
Do you have any insights, Master?
At that, Kokrook scratches his his chin and says, "We could try confining her in somewhere that only we know, but this is not easy to do. First of all, and second of all, who's gonna be a jailer? I mean, this is a problem. I'm not very confident with trusting her and letting her go. At the same time, I don't see what the problem is with giving her to the New Republic. They actually do have um, the required facilities to
They do have the
for
visit.
her to be safely confined.
I do. I agree. They do have the facilities. Elena says. I'm not really certain I fully trust the motives of the minister, however, if he were to catch wind of this.
Yeah, that is another matter. Speaking of which, the trial is happening in 2 days from now.
Elena looks up.
Wow.
I
Happy birthday, Elena.
The birthday's today, actually.
exactly.
I know.
That's why he said it. Elena looks at the crook. Then I guess we I should go to see him quickly all the same.
Yes, you'd better do that. And the officials insisted that both trials will take place at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but one after another. Same day.
Of
I
course.
don't think we're too concerned about. Well, Ilva might be concerned about Yenna, but
I will say this, Kokruk says, Gianna is not to be trusted or with anything pretty much. If I
I
had,
think we are all agreed on that, if nothing else.
Hmm.
yes, this one still I do not trust her, but damn it, she is holding back some information. This is what worries me.
Perhaps there's a solution to our problem that doesn't necessarily have to involve the minister, Elena says.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of working toward. I just
Elena
I want
looks
to
at
make sure that this lady doesn't ever meet the minister.
Elena looks
Because
at Ilva. Would you trust our mutual friend with the assassins to be able to keep an eye on her?
I wouldn't actually. Don't forget that she can use her abilities to. Um, they will be doing things that they don't want to, let's say.
I agree, but what other choices do we have?
Kukruk leans back and says, I guess for the time being, I can keep an eye on her.
That could work, and I guess for the time being, we could keep her on our ship, if anything else.
I don't
she
know if
wanted to
the
be in the
ship.
Outer Rim. We know that much.
Yes.
She wanted to
And
get
at
away from
that
all
you
of this.
see, and at that you see Kukruk's face lighting up a bit, and he says, "Wait a second. If the mercenaries were working for her specifically, and we got here, and she was the one gathering the artifacts, what use would they have for the rest of them now that she's a prisoner? And I guess that they already know about development.
They
One
could
of them was with her when
they
you found her.
they could still use those artifacts as collateral. As to what purpose that collateral would take, that's not easy to discern. There are many other crime syndicates who would be willing to pay quite a fair amount of credit to have artifacts like those in their possession.
Mm. At that, Ilva says, Yena has told me that there is a high demand with illegal artifacts and things like this. There are lunatic collectors that want to get their hands on for some reason.
They
And
don't know
from
what
what
they're
I've
getting.
heard, and our new friend told us, she says with a bit of irony in her voice, uh, there have been a few force sensitives lurking about in the underworld, trying to get their hands on them. She has killed a few of them. As I said before, I don't trust her at one bit, but I guess that I can trust Kukruk with keeping an eye on her for the time being.
What I'm still stuck on, and I do say this in character, what I'm still stuck on is that she is, despite all of this, she is the one who has been um, handling and acquiring these artifacts and keeping them out of the hands of people who would probably use them a lot more openly and nefariously. Does that mean she can resist them? Or
I'm not sure that could be the pertinent question, Helena says. She definitely has her own ulterior motive, it could also be down to the fact that she alone wants to possess them.
Either she wants to possess them or she simply wants them preserved. I'm personally more leaning towards the former, of course, but
And Neo is carelessly dancing in the background.
Again, you're not kind the guy that has all the information. He's just
Yes.
there, look,
Yes.
there, listening to music with Ketch. They're hearing rock and roll in of space and
Exactly.
all of that.
Oh, what a feeling when you're dancing on the ceiling.
So, the thing is that Kokruk agrees to keep an eye on her
Mhm,
on the ship for the time being. Ilva is going uh,
mhm.
to help him with that, I guess.
Well, she's gonna
When
have. Well, she's gonna have to because
uh,
Elena will want to bring Kukruk with her when she goes to see Kaleran.
I was going to say when you guys get out of there, that
Mm.
bridge stuff, Neo will get out and look at you and say, "So, how did it end? All end?" Just taking his head out of the cockpit. You can
It,
hear music coming out of there.
who's to say it ended? Elena says.
What, didn't you reach a resolution or something like that regarding this?
not
This
quite.
whole
There's
conversation is taking place somewhere here for obvious reasons. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, obviously, when Neo, hears that, exits and asks that. Mhm,
Elena, reminded of something, looks up at
mhm.
Ilva and goes, "Speaking of artifacts, you mentioned a Dathomiri Dathomir crystal that was among that collection that you wanted me to look into."
Yes, Yena was inquiring about it.
At hearing artifacts, does this trigger anything in Neo's mind?
I mean,
Saying the one
sure.
that he checked stuff.
Yep.
What about that one, basically?
Did any artifact, jump to Neo's attention more than any other, from the notes or information that he got?
You
With
know
your-
about the crystal. You've seen it. Elena
Yeah,
has
but
it.
but I mean, not just the crystal information that she's mentioning here. I mean, all the artifacts. Hearing the artifacts, the crystal. Does this bring, if Neo begins to think, does this bring to mind, any kind of information that he may not have shared in the moment because he was just trying to gather as much as he could?
I'd say it's fair to say that yes, he.
Is there any that's why I ask, is there any artifact in those notes that was put a specific note or something like
You
that?
don't know if it is an artifact or whatever on Earth this thing is supposed to be,
Mhm,
but you have found in the
mhm.
database that she's searching to find something called
Hmm.
the Gates of Eternity.
Neo remember this hearing that he asked,
Wait,
did she
wait,
The
mention
wait,
not at
any?
all ominous sounding thing.
Yeah,
wait. Is that
so
a
Neo.
thing in Star Wars mythos lore? I mean, Miss
It is
the Infinity Gates.
paraphrased though.
Okay, and near this, when it's the mention of the crystal artifacts, did she mention anything about the? I think it was something about gates of eternity or something like that. I could go check back again the database just to be sure, but there was a very interesting mention regarding that.
What now? You see Kukurok saying, and
And Neo this looks at him and takes a bit this more seriously and says, there was a mention in in the database that she was using, that I downloaded to a datapad, that there she was looking for
roll a
something called the
perception check. Everyone except Kukurok because he
yeah.
was the one distracted.
I finished saying, I rolled this, but I finished saying what you're saying
Mhm.
regarding something called the Gates of Eternity. Oh, 15! For me, that's amazing!
Oh my freaking god! Why?
Okay,
Why?
20 is enough for this because it's not
Ooh.
a subtle change.
So everyone except Elena sees it.
Yes,
Elena's
yes.
distracted by Kukruk's being distracted.
When this is when this is mentioned, you can
Mhm.
see that the serious face that Ilva has most of the time becomes dead serious. It drops.
Why
At
so
least you,
serious?
at least
I
you
know.
see.
I know why, because
Can
I know
can
this.
I can I say what the reaction of the old man here? At
Yes.
this, just lowers his head, lowers you see his whole body motion like kind of like he's slumping and says, "Oh, goody." Kind
Elena,
of like he's not in despair,
So,
but like not again.
so Ilva, you know something what he's talking about?
Actually, I think I do know something. It's an old legend that the witches were telling at some point back on Dathomir. Falta told me of that.
It's
Darth
not a story a
Plagueis.
Jedi would tell.
Darth Plagueis was a dark
Ne-
lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise. He could use
Hush.
the.
ne-
Can we please move on?
yeah, basically, Neo, I say so. Just like the Force is not a myth, I take that this thing that you heard is not a myth.
Maybe. Who knows? It sounds a bit implausible, though.
Mhm.
Uh,
But not impossible.
This Neo says, let's humor this wild chain of events. What does it say?
well, I'll tell you what Falta actually told me about this. She was very particular about learning. Um, come on, learning astronomy to know where exactly specific stars are at specific uh, times around the year on Dathomir and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And she used to say that uh, two stars specifically showed the way to one of the gates of eternity. It's I asked her, of course, what that is, and she took, the face that all the ladies take when they're starting telling fairy tales that are somewhat strange and stuff like that to their kids.
Mhm.
Said that it's supposed to be a gateway to, and you see her thinking about it a little bit and looking at Kokrok mainly. And he says, "Well, then, go on." Very well. I never thought that I would be sharing this information with a Jedi, but
Two of them, Elena says with a smirk.
Mhm.
with all due respect to Master Kokrok, but I have a much easier time sharing these things with the kids. So Elena and Jawayne, go on. Kokrok says again.
Mhm.
So it's supposed to be a gateway that only someone that has very strong will, very firm to their beliefs, and the cliche story of the strong, good, moral character, or whatever you want to call it, the one that can resist to uh, whatever evil is going to come upon their path.
Oh, it's the tune from KOTOR 2.
It's supposed that only individuals like them can find the path, and if you follow it to the end, you can unlock one of the doors, which leads you to whatever your heart desires. Falta always was very overdramatic at that point.
Whatever your heart desires.
Elena's face palming.
Face palming.
Okay.
Elena,
I don't know why she feels face palming. It's just
after a moment,
really thinking about that last phrase.
It could
Suddenly,
be. It could be just a myth. Well, I thought it was.
that's our own mystery to solve. Anyway, back in character. Elena will just look up and go, fantastical as this may sound, what exactly does this have to do with the crystal we found?
The crystal. Show it to me.
Elena takes it off her belt and hands the pouch over.
Okay. She opens the pouch and sees the crystal and says, "Oh, that thing. Mm, damn it. This is one of the shards of the infamous Narditic crystal of Dathomir. It is extremely potent and dangerous.
I imagine. I felt the dark side screaming off of it.
Oh, yes. It is said that the specific Night Sisters clan that was guarding it, I don't know how to call it exactly. They were performing rituals, not the very good kind, near it, on it, with it.
Intertwined with it.
I'm talking about sacrifices here. Not very, you know, joyful stuff.
mm-hmm.
No wonder this thing is so steeped with the dark side. So that means that we know exactly where he was, uh, where she grew up. Hmm. Kukruk, take care of this. I have to think, she says.
Whatever we
And
Gosh, we're
then
just piling stuff on your plate one after another, Cookrook. Oh, by the way, you want to
Elena
come in
takes
with us and go and see Kalarin?
Elena takes the pouch and says, be that as it may, the best thing we could do with this for now is to keep it away from our guest. I have somewhere in my quarters we can keep it for the time being. Secure.
yes,
The most cramped room on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
keep it there, I guess. Where are the? She had the lightsaber. Where is it?
Catch.
Neo, dat zegt, Sketch has it as a souvenir.
Yeah, it's gone now. You can't have it. It's mine. And by God, you can see it sitting on a shelf right behind him at the cockpit.
Yeah.
It's gone now. You can't have it.
She sees that, rolls her eyes, and says, "Oh, whatever."
One of the many eccentricities I have to put up with nowadays, it says, mirroring the sentiment.
It is something that Yenna was desperate to get her hands on.
All the more
The
reason for letting
crystal
me.
was
All the
the
more reason.
crystal
Go on.
the crystal was destroyed during the attack on Dathomir. You know, during the Clone Wars. Of
Mm.
course, there were some shards that survived. I guess she took one of them.
Do you suspect there are more shards to be found like this, or more leads to be found within the final group of artifacts?
There could be, but she doesn't seem focused on finding them.
Hmm.
In any case, you shouldn't be playing with that thing.
Oh, I already know.
And with that, she leaves. Kokruk
Okay.
makes a sigh and says, well, I guess I will have to make myself comfortable with the brace."
Neo, Neo points him to some of the best, most comfortable beds, the few beds that we have here. That's a sign saying, I will sleep on the cockpit with Catch.
No, in fact, Elena will actually interject saying, no, you keep it. Master, you can take my quarters. I've got some things I need to contemplate anyway.
Mm-hmm. So let's move. Kelleran?
Kelleran. After a moment, Elena will knock and go, I'm sorry to have to do this, Master, but could you come with me to the jails? I think
Jails. I thought we were already in.
we're already there. Did you not hear the? Did you not see the transition, Elena?
Did you not see the jail here, Elena?
Of course, he knows what you're trying to say.
Mhm.
So
Let me pull up my Google
let's
Docs.
let's go straight to
Oh God.
end. Kelleran appears inside the ship
Of course.
with his lightsaber drawn. It's over. The final battle is happening.
Elena stands on the chair. It's over, Kelleran. I've got the high ground.
Oh, prisoner, we might need your help.
So, you
Don't worry. Don't worry. When you least expected, Keisha appears there flying with the lightsaber. Says, I didn't know this thing could fly.
Oh no, Catch could figure that out immediately.
He just rolls a really good pilot check.
So you go to meet to see Kelleran.
On the way down to the
Uh,
jails, Elena will have a quick look at Kukrook and just say, "It's taken a while, but I think I finally realised why you asked Joanne to stay with me."
oh,
She doesn't say anything more than that. She says, "He's taught me a lot more than I could have taught him."
you see Kokorook smiling a bit. Good.
Wait, am I going with?
Yes, you're there too.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Where are you? There you are. Zawayne is playing with his junk. Not that one. That was bad.
You say that was bad. I
Damn
wonder why. I wonder why puns are bad.
it! With one of his
Look, the relationship between Elena and
treasures,
Joanne is
okay?
close, but not that close.
Yes.
Elena asked me what I'm fiddling around with. I say your birthday present.
That sounds even worse.
Good.
Only because you think of it like that, Cord.
Only because Mriss put the image in my mind, so he's the one to blame.
Kokorook says that's good. It is imperative that you learn things from everyone around you, and not only those that you consider masters or teachers or anything else.
That's the one thing I've ultimately learned. Your your student can teach just as much as your master can.
That is exactly correct. I was often teased by my master that I'm being too much to handle it sometimes, believe it or not.
We all had to start somewhere, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Oh no,
funny,
really, Elena, stop! You'll make me blush.
funny that. Elena says to try and ease the tension a little bit. You often told me I reminded you of your master a few times.
Somewhat, yes, there are some similarities.
Like what?
Well, these questions, for example, she was very fond of questions. She didn't want to give me an answer. She was always trying to make me find the answer, she was very fond of saying. And if I didn't, and I was stubborn with it, she would say that I am doing myself a disservice, and I should stop being so stubborn and stupid. Yes, she actually said that. You don't. At least I think you don't. Are you referring to the rest of your friends to my person as stupid, Elena?
Of course not. It's often you who refers to me as stupid, Lion says with a smirk.
You see that he smiles back and says, "Good to see that you haven't lost your sense of humor."
I had
Oh
for a
no, it's just evolved.
Ella looks at him with a smile and goes, I did, but it seems I've got it back.
Hmm. So now you're standing in front of Kelleran's cell. Here we are.
When Kukuk told me what was going to happen, and I wanted to see you at least one more time. See how you're doing.
Kelleran is he seems very well acquainted with his cell at this point. Says, "Well, that's nice of you. Yeah, 2 days from now, and I'll be having well dog trial. What happens there is anyone's guess. I'm not hoping for much though.
Ella sighs and goes, it's hard for me to accept, but I just want to, at least I want you to know that I've done everything I can to help you. It's the least I can
You
do.
see him looking at the floor, and he says, "I know that."
She looks at Kalerin and Joanne as well before. This has been a big test for me, but I think it has been a hard road for me over these last few months, but I feel that I've come out of it wiser and more in touch with the Force than I've ever have been. I have learned lessons that changed my perspective on the Force, the galaxy, everything, and the universe. There has been one thing that my friends have taught me on my journey, though. Something that I think the Order needs to learn as a whole if we are able to get back to our heights, as it were.
Kelleran looks at you and says, "And what is that?"
One can learn to love and form friendships, gain attachments, and care for those around them. And it doesn't always lead to the dark side. It doesn't always lead to you losing everything. Sometimes it can strengthen you.
You see Kukrok is looking at you, but he says nothing.
And three of the finest examples I can find of that lesson are standing in this room with me, she says with a smile.
Zawayne turns invisible.
Joanne activates the comlink.
No.
I'm teasing. Noticing that Kukruk's looking at her, she actually does look up and smile at the old Jedi. I mean, my care for you, for example, is after what happened on Dantooine, the first thing I thought of was finding you and getting your aid. If I didn't have that attachment and that care for my old my old mentor, then I probably would have lost myself.
That Kelleran stands up, approaches you, hugs Elena, squeezes you a bit. It reminds you the way that that he was. He used to do that when Elena was a little girl.
Before he went cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yes, of course. And then he says, "Thank you for reminding me that what is important to actually fight for.
Alana, taking a little bit aback, hugs him back, but actually hugs him a little bit tighter and goes, "It was you who taught me so much, and what happened hurt so more because of it. You know I couldn't give up on you, even in our darkest hours. And a true servant of the light, no matter what her friends or mentors or anyone consoles her to do otherwise, a true servant of the light always seeks to find other solutions to a problem. I'd never be able to forgive myself if I couldn't save you."
At that, Kelleran walks a bit back and he sits down again. He's visibly come on.
Crying.
He's
Is he tearing up at
not
least?
yes he's
Okay.
that he's tearing up and he's trying to not show that. He stares there and he
But
says,
he's also got a small smile on his face, I bet.
yeah. He
It's
says,
the most pure kind of cry.
I sincerely thank you for believing in me and doing all you have done. It's more than anyone else has done.
It's the most
And
I
I
could.
want to thank you as well. And looks at Zawain. And then he looks back on Kukruk that he's okay. If we Fitz could transform into a peacock, that would be Kukruk right now.
Careful.
Huh?
You're careful, Crook. Your pride is showing.
Elena just, after looking at that, Elena puts a hand on Kukruk and says, "Even though he may not say it, I thank you because I wouldn't have been able to do this without you."
Kukruk goes there and come on, that's his Kelleran's shoulder, and he says, "It's good to have you back, old friend." And Kelleran takes his arm and says, "Yeah, it's good."
Elena tears up a little bit, mirroring Killer and just trying not to show it and go, "I wish we didn't have to lose so much." And it's clear in her voice that the two other Killer and Kukruk know who she means.
Mm-hmm. He nods and then Kelleran nods and then says, "Whatever happens, I deserve it at this point."
Not everything, Elena says. "You don't deserve everything."
Well, I will tell you this much that I have recently learned. The harshest judge of all is our own self.
Elena,
So,
Elena nods.
better not make the same mistakes I've made.
Elena tries to chuckle, but is stifling it a little bit and go. That's why I'm looking at you, for you to guide me. Looking at Joanne, you taught. It's because of you. As I said, a student can teach their master just as much, and you taught me the greatest lesson I've ever learned. You've taught me how to be determined, and that determination kept me going more than you realize. If you hadn't been there along with the rest of our crew supporting me, I may have turned just as easily as Calaran did."
At that, you hear a knock on the cell door, and you hear a voice saying, "Excuse me, but time is up."
And I just
You
slap.
couldn't give us 5 more minutes.
I mean, it's just a guard. You can negotiate. Mind trick him.
I don't have my trick.
I do, but I'm busy monologuing.
I
Okay.
know.
You see that he's not making any moves to actually get you out of there. He's
And then it's
he's
gonna,
you
and
know.
then it's gonna finish a speech saying, "I believe that love, determination, and courage are the three greatest assets a Jedi can have." Looking at Cook and Kellaren especially, that is what I found could be one of the greatest missteps of the Order. We cut ourselves off from the people we swore to protect. We didn't let them see that we were people just like them. And that led them to mistrust us. Made it easier for the Empire to turn them against us. We need to be determined to do the right thing. We need to have the courage to stand up against corruption and disorder, no matter what the source. Trust in our allies, care for our allies, and care for those around us. And with that, I believe the Jedi can come back to where we were.
At that, you can hear Kelleran laughing a bit, and he goes, Siko Crook, I told you she would be the end of us. You can take that metaphorically
Mm-hmm.
for how things were taking into extremes during the later years of
The Order, yeah.
the Cook says, yes. So, let's hope for the best during the trial. We had done everything we could, but things are looking up for a change. Let's not overstay our welcome, though.
I agree.
Hmm,
I'll be right behind
Because
okay.
you. I'll be right behind you, Alana says as she kneels down in front of Claire and gives him one last hug. May the force be
Mhm.
with you, Master.
And Kellen nods and says, "May the force be with you, Elena.
She
Never
rises.
forget what you told me here today."
I won't. Alana will actually take off the brooch that Ilva gave her at the very start of the campaign and say, "If you ever need me again, you know how to contact me."
He nods. And then a platoon of guards get inside, start hitting Kelleran and taking this suspicious object off his hands because it could be anything. I'm just joking.
Alana never said she. Alana never gave him the brooch.
What is this, a brooch? What have you done? You've doomed us all.
Alana will give him something to remind him of her, but it's less. It was. It's less. It's more. It's something that could easily be. It could easily be seen for what it is. She takes out a small bear from her pouch and goes, "Just to remind you of the little girl you found so many years ago." She smiles.
It's a ball.
And she follows Joanne and Cook out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
As we're walking out, I do say to Elena, for the record, I would have slapped you silly before I see you fall.
Elena chuckles a little bit and just puts a hand on his shoulder. That's why, and that's why I care for you so much.
Mm-hmm. And so, you get back to the ship. Um,
Is there
at
a
some
dry?
point,
Is there a dry eye in the party of three?
what?
Has everyone stopped crying yet?
And
I don't
everyone
know.
gets back to the ship. You get to your, I guess, normal routine. Well, not exactly normal because you have one more passenger now
Two more, technically.
for the time being.
Yes.
And the next 2 days pass without any uh, incident.
Speaking of, during the last 2 days, next 2 days, it's not a massive thing, but Elena will get her violin out and actually sit with Joanne and say, "There's one more thing I want to teach you before we move on to our next destination. You heard Master Cook and I speak often about another master of mine, Quinlan Voss. He's the one who taught me what I'm about to show you right now.
Oh no.
There's a method of meditation where you can actually think of doing something you enjoy. Do something with your hands that relaxes you, comforts you, lets you feel more connected to the Force. With you, it might be finding some junk to play with and building something out of it, making something grand. For me, she gets out her childhood violin. For me, it's playing this. It just calms me, makes me feel more connected. If you want, I can teach you."
Joanne's just sitting down on the floor in front of her with his legs crossed and with his hands folded up under his chin. Go on.
I want to play the piano.
God.
As I said, we don't have to
Piano
fully.
Man starts playing on the PA.
As I
That
said,
doesn't exist.
I like the idea that Cook is just sitting there watching her do this proud. She just says, "As I said, you can do this with anything that brings you personal comfort." And she starts playing the violin whilst meditating.
Mhm.
She starts playing, and for the record, just for funsies, she's playing the Star Wars equivalent of Schindler's List.
Uh, get him out of here. So, after all this is done, we get to the important day.
The trial.
Yes.
So technically, we've got to the second most important day because we've already had the most important day.
Actually, yes. Well, they both are very important.
They are both very important. That's the joke.
hmm So, you know that the trial will be starting in a few hours. If anyone wants to go there and be
Elena will
present,
Elena will to try and support Kalerin as much as she can.
okay. Is anyone listening to? I don't know. What is Neo and Ketch doing?
Playing poker.
I think he
Listening to
means
radio.
Sabak.
No, I mean Pazak.
Who plays
Sabak.
Pazak anymore?
It's the retro game. It's why we're so hip
It's
with
the
the
retro
kids.
game. Anyway, you're just chilling, right?
Yep.
Okay then. That leaves the obvious thing.
What's Dwayne doing?
Elena, as
Yeah,
you're
as
I don't know, whatever your character is doing,
probably
you
medit.
feel like a knife stabbing you all of a sudden. It's not a literal knife,
But it still
but you
hurts.
feel, yes, it feels extremely bad and sudden.
Elena
Right away, you know that something terrible has happened.
Elena lets out a little cry, holds her head, and just braces herself on the floor a little bit.
You
Oh
see
no. Is
Crook
it happening
walking.
again?
Kukruk, you see that Kukruk is walking outside a bit, and he says, "I have a very bad feeling about this."
Elena looks up at Kukruk with an extremely serious look on her face, saying, "I felt a terrible disturbance in the Force."
It's not only that. Elena, roll. I use the first check.
Please roll well this time.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
it
I'm-
is perfect. This is more than enough to tell you that Kelleran is no longer with us.
She starts
This
crying.
is the bad feeling that you felt.
Elena just goes completely silent. She doesn't start sobbing, but the tears start flowing down her eyes. She just collapses on the couch and just holds her head in her hands.
You see that Kukruk is
Dwayne is right there, and he's clearly taken aback, and
Kukruk
then
looks,
looks back at Crook and say,
yes, he looks at
"So
you a bit lost himself and says, "Please take care of this for a moment." And then he walks right inside the cockpit and he says, and he begins to open the communications of the ship, trying to find.
Neo helps in the moment he sees he's trying to do that, but he's just looking at him like, what's going on?
I don't know. We have to
No,
find
no,
out.
he doesn't say. He just looks at him
Oh,
like that.
okay.
He doesn't say anything. He's helping him, but gives him a look like, what's going on?
And long story short, you find that there is ample coverage of the event. It seems during the transportation of the two individuals that were about to be on trial,
Mhm.
a terrible accident, quotes on quotes. Who knows exactly what
Neo,
happened?
Neo, Neo
Happened.
immediately, Neo immediately, the moment he hears accident, suspects something because he doesn't think Calaran or
Mhm.
it was, friend could be that easily defeated or by
Both.
an accident, something like that. So I will begin a news computer to investigate. He's going to
Okay,
take his sweet time doing this. He's going to do it as deep as possible. So if that,
do it,
helps toward the score,
do it, do it.
is that
Okay,
enough?
it
Or
is enough.
to get
Uh,
to get, I don't mean to get just the full story that the media is getting, to get
yep, yep,
the truth.
yep, yep.
Okay.
It
Mm.
seems that from some angle that was actually visible from one of the cameras around, during the transportation, it seems that electricity overloaded.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, the
Mm-hmm.
transport, and in the end, the conclusion was that it exploded.
It
Both
seems
prisoners,
some. It seems somehow Palpatine has returned.
yes, both prisoners, along
Mm-hmm.
with the people inside, uh, the guards inside, were killed
Mm-hmm.
during the incident.
Could
Immediately,
ne-
a lot of people start, talking and saying one thing, the other thing. But what you see is that it seems that the witch, Yenna,
Mhm.
found a way to use her power and destroy everything.
He destroyed everything.
Yes,
You
you
see
can.
that Neo. Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Pretty
No,
much, she
keep
used,
going, keep going. Mm-hmm.
pretty much she used Force Lightning to overload the ship and
Mm-hmm.
destroy it.
You see that
Basically,
Neo falls back into the chair and he has the most confused expression that's possible. Looks at Gregor and says, "It looks like what was the out of character? What was the name of the witch?
yeah.
Yenna.
It, it seems like Yena uses the force lightning and this
You don't
overload
know
the
that
ship.
it's the
Like I
final.
said, he said
Yeah, yeah, it's the
Neo
conclusion.
says it seems. He makes it
Yeah.
clear. It seems like she did that and overloaded the transport.
Kukruk is extremely frustrated. You can
Mhm.
see for the first time that he shows signs of anger.
Neo this looks at him and says, "Look, it seems it's still not the whole picture. There's stuff that I can't get from just from a computer here on the ship.
Damn it, he says,
Maybe
and then
Neo
walks directly.
before he
Yes.
goes, Neo chases after him and says, "Look, if we go to the scene of the crime, maybe you can feel something else, or maybe I can get some kind of other clue or
Okay, so
system to
what you
look at."
walk in, so what you walk
Mhm,
in on
mhm,
is Elena, obviously, like
mhm,
probably by now having actually lost it,
Mm-hmm.
and
mhm,
Yep.
at
mhm,
and Dwayne doing his absolute best to wrap his tiny arm around her larger frame.
mhm.
Kukruk goes there and does the
N-
same
n-
thing.
Neo,
Sits
He wraps his larger
next.
arm around both of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Neo puts his hands on her shoulders, like trying to give her support. Says, we'll find the truth, but we have to move." He tells her, "If we want to know that."
Unfortunately, I second that. Kukruk says.
Elena doesn't react.
Uh,
Well, Elena
he
doesn't.
he puts his hand on Elena's face and says, "Is it okay for me to go right away and see what? Well, try to find what happened."
Elena just
Neo's,
nods.
Neo this looks at Elena and says, "Maybe you should get here and get a hold of yourself. Kirkuk and me can go and look as much as we can there from both sides of this." This looks at Elena and says, "Do you feel like coming too? Maybe your kid and I will catch something that we want."
You're asking Catch, right?
Yeah, catch. I'm not asking Jawain or Elena to leave because I don't. I think Jawain is
Yeah,
probably
good, good. Don't worry,
I
she's
think
in good hands here.
The, all right.
exactly. I think that that Jawain is the best to have here, not a catch
All right.
to keep support. Mhm,
Elena finally
So
says something. Just says, "Okay,
mhm.
just keep me informed."
Of course, says Neo. The moment we got news, if we can see it through the com links, you will
mhm.
be informed.
I'll have mine on me for
Mhm.
sure.
So you exit and start
Yeah,
making your way towards uh,
the scene of the crime. Yeah.
the scene.
Mhm.
Uh,
Oh God,
gather.
we are a space CSI.
Yes.
CSI Catchami.
Gather
Yes.
information.
Shouldn't cook. There you go.
Okay.
I
Okay.
want
Yeah.
you to roll two things: perception and gather information.
Okay. Gather information.
Okay. Reminder that you have force points if anyone wants to use them.
I just in case I have four, so I will use one. Well, 30. I needed one to give 30 for getting information. So got
Amazing.
information 30, and I'm going to roll now perception. Uh, I am betting of this. This is a natural 20, 25.
Okay.
I take that.
All right. I don't think there's much point in me going for a force point on perception.
No, no. There isn't.
Mm-mm.
You can see that it is. Yes, Cloud. Darth Jar Jar was behind
No,
all
no,
of
no, no.
Yep.
We first,
Yep.
before any other famous Sith or Jedi appears, the first one that appears. That's a very interesting and important question. What about the Attack on the Wookiees?
Yes. So, as you are searching around, asking the authorities and all
Yeah.
that jazz, first
Mhm.
of all, they don't seem to be very welcoming.
Interested.
They don't want you to approach the scene
Mm-hmm.
for obvious reasons. I mean,
Yeah.
that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
So, if you do not make any attempt to circumvent that,
Neo Neo will try to see what without circumventing that he can catch from then. Maybe if he can catch
Let
the
me
moment,
tell you.
maybe if he can catch, the moment where they're going to leave the scene, he will just, try to make himself inconspicuous after this, after he fumbles around a bit there to, to leave and there to look.
Mhm.
But
Kokruk is
that's what he must do.
Kokruk is trying to negotiate
Mhm,
his way through
mhm,
and
yeah.
letting you actually investigate. But they seem
Mhm,
very adamant that you can you know stay
mhm,
and look around, but not interfere with the actual investigation that is going on.
yeah.
So they allow you to stay and look from a safe distance,
Mhm, yeah.
even
From
closer
behind the
than
tape.
yes, yes, from behind the tape, pretty much.
Mhm,
It is not a tape in this
yeah.
occasion, but yes.
Yeah, we get it, but yeah, it's we get the
Mhm.
meaning.
Mhm. The
So yeah,
weird thing is that you cannot actually find a lot of things in the scene. Yes, it is
mhm,
fairly obvious that an explosion took place.
mhm,
You can see a lot of things that were, know, blasted all over the place. And
mhm,
one thing that you see is after a few, let's say, let's say,
mhm.
oh,
Oh.
after 40 minutes, you
Mhm,
see another squad approaching,
mhm.
and a familiar face is
Donovan.
Listen. Oh.
exiting
Mhm,
the vehicle. You see that among
mhm.
them is Agent Donovan, and he
Neo is
goes to
surprised.
the investigation site.
Neo won't interfere because he
Mhm.
trusts Donovan
Your
from what he has
perception,
seen,
your
but
perception,
he's not.
your perception is enough to see that he has noticed you.
Okay, yeah, I know, and Neo, unless he approaches him, he won't interfere with Donovan's job.
Notice me,
He understands how
senpai.
it works.
Notice
He
me.
understands how he works, but he's not going to
Mhm.
um interfere with his work. He knows he probably will think for that, and maybe he could get
Mhm.
something out of that because they understand each other. They have a mutual understanding.
Okay.
So
After
for
a few,
now, what I want to make sure that you keep an eye. Neo will try to look from what he can look and all that. If there is any kind of black box, what we consider the equivalent of a Star Wars black box, or any kind of technological device from the wreckage is taken off that could be used to have information, stuff like that. Neo will keep an eye on and who takes it and all of that.
tell you what, the investigation
Mhm.
is going on for quite a few hours.
Yeah. Neo has patience.
Mhm.
Mhm,
After it is done, you
mhm,
see that they're wrapping up things.
mhm,
Donovan looks around,
mhm,
making eye contact with you. At least you
mhm.
can, you know
Senpai
that
noticed
he's
you.
yes.
Yeah. Neo
And
holds obviously holds the eye contact to see if he tries to
mhm,
say.
and he goes
Mhm,
inside the
mhm,
vehicle that got him there in the first place. And
mhm,
they start evacuating the area. Still,
mhm.
there are
Yeah,
guards all around it because,
of
uh,
course. Mhm,
yes. And after
mhm,
another hour that you are staying there,
mhm.
unless you want to actually evacuate yourselves, Kruk
Neo.
is
Mhm.
just making his best to be patient there and see what
Neo
happens.
is Neo is patient because he knows that the most important thing that all of this probably that he can get, and he should probably try to get a way to get contact with is any kind of technological piece that he could try
Okay.
to use to get a hint of a clue. So he will have the patience to wait until he has an idea of where that's going to be taken to.
Okay, okay.
Mhm,
So after another hour passes, one of the people that
mhm.
are passing through,
Yeah.
and
Mhm,
a good amount of them, stops and looks at the side,
mhm.
continue stuff
Yeah.
like that, or even stop and go around asking what exactly happened and all that stuff.
Mhm,
At some point, you see one of them approaching you and says,
mhm.
"Oof, what happened here? An explosion?" He
Neo that
seems
looks.
an inconspicuous human, nothing.
Neo at that being as big as he can is kind of, we don't know yet what exactly happened.
Well, I guess we'll be hearing it in the news for the next week, he says.
Hmm. Neo
Anyway,
just says,
I'm already late. And as he's leaving, he says,
"Mhm,
uh, well, good night. And he makes a wave. And as he makes this wave towards the
mhm,
rest of you, he is
mhm,
strategically positioning himself right next to
mhm,
Neo. And you see that
mhm,
from his waving hand, a small paper falls
mhm."
right next to
Neo
you.
Neo tries to grab it before it touches the ground.
Okay.
Mm.
Uh,
And when the guy is away, reads it.
okay. The paper inside
Mhm,
says, "My office
mhm,
tonight after." Come on.
mhm.
In my office tonight after 1 o'clock. Come alone.
Neo reads it. This read this, passes the paper to Ketch and says, "Well, looks like I have an appointment." And if Ketch gives it back, also shows it to Kruk.
Yeah, it looks like you've got yourself a dinner date.
Yep. Hopefully, this one will bring us a bit of clarity.
Ah, the true romance begins.
Yes.
Mhm,
So,
mhm. Yeah,
uh,
Neo obviously goes there as
mhm.
inconspicuous as he wants, knocks on Donovan's
By the way,
door.
uh,
by the way,
first
my
of all,
Discord
are
thing was
you
a half
making
joke.
an extra effort to approach, to go there as
Neo will try to appear as
discreetly as possible?
inconspicuous. Yeah,
Okay.
as discreetly as he can.
Okay. Roll.
Stealth.
Stealth. Yeah.
Oh wow! You know
Ooh.
what?
Okay.
You know what?
Hmm?
I'm feeling lucky today. I'm going to try another force point. I have, I can, I have a.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Well,
don't you
I
worry.
have two for the rest of the day, so
I'm
I'm fine.
giving you a +5
Okay.
because I have.
You should
Uh,
have 3 left for
Okay.
the rest of the day, Max, because you're on 4 force points now.
so you arrive
All right.
inside Donovan's office.
Yeah.
He has a grim look on his face. He's
Mhm.
obviously tired.
Neo obviously says, "Thank you for setting up this meeting. Sorry if it's taking too much of your time."
Yes, you can see that the device is already on.
Yeah, was kind of expecting. He sits down and says, "Do you want me to tell you what I know first before you fill the blanks for me, or do you want to just go
I'll tell you
first?"
what I know, he says.
Neo nods. Hmm.
I'll make an effort to make it as brief as possible because I am extremely tired. I've been doing my best investigating a lot of people out of
I
the
can
record, of
imagine.
course. There are a lot of
Hmm.
things that are happening that are at least suspicious.
Neo nods so that yeah, like
In this
it may.
particular
Mhm.
Mhm. And
Sorry,
in
go
this
on.
particular case, I have it under good authority that the witches or whatever she was bindings were not very well secured.
You see that Neo's look there is surprised but also worrisome. Are you implying that someone in the New Republic wanted this to happen?
I'm not implying. I'm not
So
saying
you know
anything.
who?
No, 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 no. I'm not going to make any assumptions at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stating the fact.
Neo nods at that.
You take this information because you are one of, well, involved parties, and we already have an understanding between us.
Mm-hmm. Neo agrees to that with a nod, not trying to say much, so Donovan can lead the conversation to where he wants.
There's also something else. I have detected some suspicious activity in high security facilities here on Coruscant for
Neo
the
this has a worried look, but
for
keep going.
the last 2 days, maybe.
Disney puts a frustrated look because he can imagine the kind of mess that is beginning to make up.
And by that, I don't mean that anything has happened, at least not yet. Emphasis on yet.
Hmm. Yeah, Neo
I
nods at that.
might be calling for your group's cooperation in the near future.
Disney ask officially or extra.
Extra.
Yeah, Neo puts a grim look at his face and nods and says, "Yeah, I get it. Don't worry, we'll be ready if you call us."
Read all about it.
Good. That would be all for today. Forgive me, but I am
Uh,
really in desperate need of some rest.
Neo rises his hand before he can continue this whole phrase and says, "I get it. Try to get as much rest as we can. We will be ready and we will be trying to do our investigation on the meantime while we wait for if you end up calling us
Mm-hmm.
just to see if we can find anything that you can't without interfering with your business."
Perfect.
Mhm.
Now, as you are leaving there, I want to
Yeah.
roll an intelligence check, and this is an important roll.
He gets a nat one.
Please be good. Please be good. I'm using another force point. That's a
Ah,
6.
good. Okay. You are thinking
Mm-hmm.
of things, how
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to think pretty much everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
You are playing things again and
Mm-hmm.
again in your mind. And at some point,
Mm-hmm.
you seem to recall the irony of the situation. That you have, during one of the meetings with Minister Anturi,
Mm-hmm.
you have actually said that the witch has a very big resentment for, come on, for Kelleran, and that you're fairly certain she would
Mm-hmm.
try something
Yeah.
if she finds, come
Away.
on, yes, if she finds
Mm-hmm.
the chance to do that.
So basically, what Neo is putting together is that this guy set up this for to happen.
He's, he certainly has the power to do that if he
And,
wanted.
and he might have the
Neo,
motive.
okay. Neo enters the ship before even saying anything to Gage or anything like that. Waits for the bridge to the exit to close. Enters the bridge. Asks Gage to come to the you know where everyone else is, so we can all understand this together. Tells them what Donovan told him on the meeting, and then tells them what he put together and what he thinks because of his position of power this guy could have done. He has nothing guaranteed, and for now we can't move anything. And after that, adds that Donovan will probably be contacting us extra officially to ask for cooperation. But he finished, he is quiet, and I'm going if Core needs me to do it. Neo is going to look precisely at Elena to see her reaction after he finishes all of this. Yeah, Ilva he can also be here.
Ilva probably turned
Yeah,
up while you were out
yeah,
because she
yeah.
felt the disturbance as well. To
Crook is
Mhm,
making his best to remain calm and
mhm.
collected. Ilva not
Yeah,
so much.
yeah. No,
and
Ilva, I
Elena
don't
is even
imagine
worse,
that she's.
and Elena is even worse than Ilva is
Mm-hmm.
at this point.
And poor Joanne is just trying to hold her up.
Neo at this side sits on a chair close to Gage and says, "So we have clearly someone that wants to get rid of. It's possible that wants to get rid of force users when they have them on their power.
Yep, better do something about that.
Elena
That's the question because he's in
Um,
a position of power."
Elena rises her head up and immediately
Mhm.
says, "I mean, I don't trust the minister any more than you do, but what motive would he have had to do that?"
And that, along with the lack of evidence and only having those supposedly 2 days of loose security in that section, is the only things that we have. Nothing else.
Did anyone
Because
else?
everything else is not. Mhm.
I'm sorry.
No, go on.
Okay. Did anyone else like? I felt for certain that we made sure that the right people knew it'd be a bad idea to put these two people in the same room.
Exactly. The only other people I talked to about this were General Calrissian and Senator Organa, and I can definitely vouch for their innocence on this. They don't seem like the sort of people to want to do this anyway.
Neo did mention
Then
the guy that the only guy that we told that clearly had a position to do that is
Exactly,
Minister
exactly.
Anturia.
And it's
So
just
yeah.
and it's just clarifying. In fact, the only other people that knew about it are two people she knows definitely wouldn't have done this.
Mm-hmm.
but would he have known? Did we tell him?
Neo did.
With it here.
Neo did.
Neo, yeah, Neo nods and then says, "I did. I thought that he was in charge in security, so he should know. That was my mistake," says Neo. And at the same time, that
So
he
much for me,
says,
so much for me trying to be guarded about the information we gave him. And like I said,
Neo says,
And at this point, Joanna looks over to Kukrook and then says, "Yeah, so about handing our new friend over to the authorities."
Neo, this before anyone can answer, says, "Yeah, this is a no-no."
out the question. Elena says, agreeing. Elena
By
looks
the
at
way, Neo's just looking up at the ceiling, just like
Elena looks at
with
Ilva
a
and
big headache.
says, "Would it be possible? Is there any way you can try and get her off world? Find somewhere?"
I could do that, yes, but right now I'm having an overwhelming urge to pay a visit to a few people.
Neo decides and says, "I get you, really. They shouldn't have done, and they shouldn't have used her like that, and she should have at least the chance to get away from for being just innocent, even if she wasn't a good person or something like that. But right now, if you go out there in that mentality or something like that, they're going to use you to probably continue what they're doing. I think the best thing you can do right now, if you can't calm down, is get her out of work and trust us, your allies. I don't know if you could call us friends, into trying to do right for you.
Ella just stares up with
Mhm,
tears in her eyes and looks at Ilver and
mhm.
says, I've already lost enough people I care about. Don't make me lose more.
Damn it, Ilva says. Fine, have it your way.
Neo, this says we will keep you informed. Anything that can be said through com leads, holo communication, and stuff like that, we will inform you.
Do you think that it is wise, though, to get her out of this unscathed? I mean,
Neo decides and says, I don't, but what choice do we have?
I would like to keep my promise if possible.
Elena has a little brainwave, just looks up, tries to clear her mind and goes, looks directly at Neo and goes,
Mhm.
perhaps we can take it perhaps we can take it to the Mandalorians.
Neo that looks at her and says, yeah, friendlies maybe had, I don't know if she had, the Mandalorians had experience with force sensitive, so maybe he has a place somewhere that she can do the right time or something like that.
They may not have as good facilities than the New Republic has, that's true, but we at least can trust their leadership to actually
Hmm.
keep her safe.
Yeah, Neo immediately after that, runs there and opens a channel communication to Frelisk.
As he runs there, Elena looks at
Mhm.
Ilver and says, if you could consent to such a plan.
I am not in position to consent to any plan at this point. I'm wise enough to know that I'm not in a position to make any choices now. So
Mhm.
You
give me
might
some time.
actually.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that Kukruk looks up and he says, "We cannot let this pass like that. We have to do something about it."
But
Question is, what can we do without making things worse?
every bone
Realistically speaking, as much as this hurts to admit, no one would care if two convicted, well, to be almost certainly convicted criminals got killed.
every bone in my body screams to talk to my allies in the high command, but bringing it to their attention might make our adversaries catch wind of our plans.
I agree, it is
If
rather risky.
inform the senators multiply, our adversaries will.
Yeah,
Of course,
when did Joanne
of
morph into
course, wise.
Yoda?
Of, of course, wise
Joanne
ghost
pulls
of
down
Jedi takes control of the Jawain.
Joanne pulls down the hood, and it's Yoda the entire time.
Ha ha ha! What a twist!
It was Baby Yoda reborn.
uh,
Had to make you believe your student I was, Elena.
So, this night passes.
mhm.
Next day comes, and
Again, Neo went immediately to communicate with the
mhm,
Mandalorians there, so and we don't need to role play that, but what's the
okay.
general response from then?
The response is
Mhm.
we'd be happy to help, but the only things that we have are not at all comfortable.
Neo that thinks about it and says, "We will keep it in mind. We are not sure yet, but it's good to know at least that we have somewhere we can trust. If you guys are willing."
I'd like to say maybe
Mhm.
it's Bo-Katan answers this time because Frost might be doing something else.
Yeah. Hmm.
Actually, no. Bo won't be available at this time,
I don't think.
but
I think
one of
Fred.
her people.
Yeah, I'd say Frelis is off
Yeah.
busy doing something as well, so it'll
Mhm.
probably be one of those people answering.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And that brings us to the next day.
Yeah.
At some point during the morning hours, you have an incoming call from one of
Nia
your
Nia Daisit
acquaintances.
Nia Daisit says hi.
I
Oh,
had a
she did.
feeling. I
Yeah,
had a
me too.
feeling.
That tonight's gonna be a
Nia,
good night.
Nia saying, saying, God damn. Oh God, you got to make a music to recover.
I'm here all week.
You have
Hi,
been on a
Dessa.
roll, though. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm just having one of those days.
Nia says, hi, Dessa. So I take it you heard.
Yeah, I heard what happened.
Nia says, yeah, it's complicated. Not best talk this way.
Complicated, huh?
Yeah.
Figures. It always is with you.
Quote unquote, he's asking her to come
Nia,
to the ship.
Nia that shouts a small laugh and says, yeah, when is it? Isn't. And that tries to make a weak smirk. He really doesn't need having him to to be very humorous, but he at least trying because he knows that someone has to at least try to keep the spirits up.
If you need anything, I will be able to help
Neo
or
Neo
whatever else uh,
Neo this
in a
says
few days.
mm,
Oh, out of character. Remember, Desa and this lady go back.
yeah.
I was about to say we should probably invite Data to the ship, not only just to
Yeah,
say, oh, Elena might want to see you, but more of a case of this might be interesting for Data to interact with this person.
Neo this says yeah, we will be really thankful to have you here when you are able. We have quite a few involvements that maybe you will find interesting too, besides this little situation.
Okay, then I will make haste, I guess.
I must
Don't
ride
Because
from.
feel
I
don't
will ride by as
Neo
fast. I must ride to Isengard.
Neo says don't feel pushed to haste your efforts. Just take your time, but know that there could be something else that you will be interested in.
No, not that.
and,
Although it could be something she's interested in. Who's to say?
so
hmm
this day passes as well without any. Uh,
hmm
And thus the ride to Isengard begins for Data the Red.
by the
It wouldn't be
way,
the ride to Isengard. It would be the ride to Minas Tirith.
Mears, by the way, this is just so you have in mind. Every day Neo is going to go around there to
In fact,
what will be the equivalent of a supermarket here on Coruscant in Star Wars,
a super.
buying for buying for fresh fruit and all of that to make the foods of the day. So if you want to throw someone there to give a call from when Donovan calls you or something like that, you have it.
it's going to Space
Your,
Walmart pretty much.
your
Mhm.
guest, your
Yeah.
guest, your
Mhm.
guest actually
Mhm.
during the
Mhm.
giving food and stuff like that.
Mhm.
She mentions at some point that it's clear that something bad happened.
Neo, when she says that, says, well, something sadly bad things always happen around here. The fact of the matter is that this is extra special.
Uh huh.
He doesn't add anything else, just that it's bit above the normal bad things that happen here around.
Okay.
In fact, Tyron, I've
Mhm.
just realised with Elena kind of almost losing her mind like this and Data
Mhm.
just riding, making haste,
Mhm.
wouldn't this not be more appropriate to say this is the right to Edoras?
Uh, But by the way,
No.
something I want to also make clear: Neo is always trying to, keep an eye on Elena, and if he sees her too down alone, he would just, try to sit down with her, joke a bit, try to, light her, and
Hey,
like her humor, and try to keep her spirit up.
hey, Elena, do you want some more?
Mhm.
Do you want some more space cake? They've probably got. They've
And we
probably.
were supposed to be going to Naboo.
We can still.
Yeah.
We can still go
Then
to
leave it to
Naboo.
Mears to make that not possible.
We might have to. We can still go to Naboo, but it'll be a very different reason to go to Naboo now.
Yeah, I can
This
imagine
this
what you
turned
would.
this turned out to be a really crappy um,
I kind of suspect.
birthday present,
Birthday.
huh?
I kind of suspected this was happen. This was going to happen, knowing Riss, but yeah. Happy
I
birthday,
am
Elena.
glad that he at least like I knew I knew that this next meeting would be the last. This meeting would be the last one with
Yeah.
Kalaran. I
Exactly.
knew.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically Riss was already
Mhm.
planning. Happy birthday, Elena. I'm going to kill your dad.
Reminder, reminder that the
Mhm.
birthdays and all that stuff
Mhm.
were added.
I
My
know.
plans pre-existed.
I
Oh
already,
no.
I already suspected you were gonna kill that Ren.
His plan pre-existed before we even started the campaign or even
I already,
discussed of
I already
starting
knew this was gonna happen. I already knew this was gonna happen. It's just the birthday made it more tragic.
This is gold. This is gold.
So my
No, but
conspiracy
need
theories are true. It has always been planned from the very beginning that Riss wants to torture me.
Mhm.
Not you specifically.
Not me specific,
no.
not me specifically. Yes, true, but I'm normally the main receptor.
Mhm.
specifically everyone involved. I'm just immune to that.
Uh,
I'm just the vessel for which the torture can be spread.
by the way, something that I would like to throw around also. I mean this mainly for Mears. If Neo has time and Ilva is alone, he will ask her for what she knows regarding Kyber Crystal and stuff like that. If asked, he will just answer curiosity and all of that.
Ilva doesn't seem to know a whole lot. Kukruk
Mm.
is much more knowledgeable.
Yeah, he imagines, but he doesn't, want to order him yet. He doesn't know
He basically doesn't want
when
to
he
leave.
will see Elena Ilva again, so that's why he decided to ask her.
Plus, I don't think he
Let's
wants to drag
Mhm.
Cook away from
Mhm.
Elena right now.
let's jump to
Yeah.
um
I'm actually, I was, I'm actually, I'm only half joking when I'm
Mm.
saying I'm actually just waiting for Lando or Leia to call the ship at this point, saying, "Oh
Yeah,
hi,
honestly,
we know what
we, we,
happened."
we are waiting for the net. We're waiting for the next event to happen. That's why I'm throwing stuff that Neo is doing around because Neo is probably the one that acts the most outside of
good then, because
Mm.
the day after this one, uh, during the night, uh,
Is it
you
Friday Night
have
Fever?
an incoming call on you.
Okay. Neo answers. Mhm.
Is this the beginning of KOTOR 2 when you've got like a half dozen calls in Taurus
Yes,
as you're waiting to,
exactly.
Telos, but
or not
yeah.
on
Telos.
Telos, yeah, Telos, as you're waiting to get.
Oh, you see that
And
kid far?
The moment the moment that
You
Neo says
follow my
Donovan,
lead,
here, can I?
Troubadour.
Okay.
Yeah.
apparently not.
Okay.
Max, your turn.
Your turn, Max.
Neo puts a serious look on his face and asks Donovan, "It's a time."
He says, I believe it's happening now as we speak. One of the main hubs of Intel here on Coruscant is under siege as we're talking. I'm leaving immediately to try and prevent things.
What do you need? Neo immediately says. He doesn't question.
These are the coordinates. I'm being extremely uncareful here, but we don't have time.
Neo gets it. We're on our way.
And after that, he hangs up. And
Neo shouts immediately, "Catch! Come here quick! We need to go to these coordinates." I begins to program in the PC to so Catch, begins to travel.
And
All
then he
right,
died.
all right.
Mhm.
this
Who died
After
this
that,
particular
time?
after that, he moves says Donovan called. He needs that right now. So get ready.
Elena nods.
okay.
Mhm,
So, you take off, you
mhm,
approach the coordinates
mhm,
that Donovan gave you,
mhm,
and
mhm,
soon you are met with
mhm. Yeah.
four X-wings coming your way,
Mhm,
making immediate contact and saying you're not authorized to approach this area.
mhm.
Please land immediately.
Okay. Neo. He knows that this is extra official, so he nods at Ketch to do that and says, "We will just keep going on foot." Mhm,
The moment that you
mhm,
come on, the moment that you land, you see one of the X-wings landing as well, and one of the pilots, opens up
Yeah.
the hands and he says,
Mhm.
"Are you completely mad? What are you going? What are you doing in this area?
Neo did says,
Don't you know
"Can you?"
this is a high security
Neo at this looks at him and says, "Can you keep any things off the record?"
of the record?" And he gives you an
The
extremely
eyebrow.
suspicious look.
Neo this says, "If you can't, I'm sorry, we can answer. If you can, I can give you an answer."
At that, he says, "Do
Mhm.
you have any idea of what's happening right now?" And you see his eyes
Yes.
squinting.
Neo immediately says, looking at him with a serious look, "Yes."
At that, you can see him taking a hold of his rifle that is, you know, uh, next to him in the cockpit, and he says, "Better be careful with your next word."
Mm-hmm. Neo repeats, "Can you keep it off the record before I answer?"
Very well. Do you know anything
Eh,
about the cyber attack?
Don Agent Donovan ask us to come here.
Agent Donovan. Number?
Neo gives he knows the number of him. He gives it immediately.
Okay. You see him a bit skeptical, and he says, "Very well. But I warn you, if you try to approach with your ship, it is going to be destroyed immediately."
Neo nods at that. That doesn't try to any funny business or any kind of sarcasm.
To be fair, our own ships cannot approach the area.
Neo just nods at that and says, "Thanks for the warning."
Yes,
Mhm.
and whatever you're planning to do, I don't want to know, but know this. It is complete chaos inside. Every single machinery in there went mad.
Neo doesn't tell him anything, but he says, "Well, looks like the things to himself. Well, looks like I have my job cut out." He just nods at he just nods at him, but that's what he thinks to himself. Mhm.
Mhm. And after that, you can convey the rest with the party.
Yeah, and Neo
And
immediately jumps, says, "We have to keep going on foot," but and begins to give the idea of the situation while we are moving.
Crook says,
Mhm.
"I'm not very good at hiding. Someone has to stay behind to look for to look after the ship and our guest."
Bob, in that case, maybe you are the ideal person for that.
That's what I was thinking.
Does that mean you'll be joining us, Ilva? You don't have to, but
Okay, I'm rolling.
She has dice in her hand. Literally. I'm rolling.
Yes, you'll be able to see the roll as well.
Yeah.
Mhm. It says, "You will be in grave danger. I would like to go, but something tells me that I should stay.
Neo at this looks
It's better to
looks.
have two pairs of eyes than one."
I get it. Have each other's back. Be careful, and we will come back with whatever information we can be sure to make things right.
Okay, so
Hmm.
this is a good um
Ending point, of
ending
course.
point, yes,
great.
because
Now I can go cook.
yes, because spoiler alert, the next one is
The finale.
A long session.
dungeon. It might not be the finale, but it is
Yeah, one
very
of the
close
last
to
ones.
it. Yeah.
It's been one of the last ones for the last 7 sessions.
Yeah, we can be constantly going from this is the last one, and this is the last one, and this is the last one.
To the point where I've actually
Actually,
called one of the episodes the finale, even though it wasn't the finale.
yes. Actually, last time I don't remember if we said that in come on
It was
stream
like
or
Oh,
not.
surely this is
No,
the
we have
final
not.
boss.
No.
No.
It's no. I said that we have two more, maybe three sessions. At
Mhm.
this, we'll see next one.
At this rate, we won't even leave Coruscant in like 3 weeks or 3 sessions from now.
Yep.
Oh no.
At this rate, we will never have a holiday on the boo.
Yep.
Oh.
Next episode, we get stuck in customs, unable to leave the planet.
Next
Miss
episode.
Elena,
Finally ready to snap. We
I'm sorry.
have the
I'm sorry.
full appearance of Darth Janitor.
Yeah. I'm sorry,
Oh
Miss Elena, but
god.
you're carrying more than 100 milliliters of liquid. I'm not carrying any bottles of water, but you're carrying over 100 milliliters of liquid. It's all in your eyes.
Mhm.
So, I think. Oh, actually, there is one last thing that will make
Mhm.
this an even bigger cliffhanger.
Data arrives.
Oh.
As you are
Please. Oh my
leaving,
gosh, please.
Mhm.
yes, okay. As you're exiting the ship and start
Mhm.
approaching,
Mhm.
uh, the security area,
Mhm.
near you get not an incoming call, but
Mhm.
you feel that something was delivered.
An Athorian wants to reach out
Okay.
to you for help dealing with Circa.
You look at the message. You look at the message,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
you see that you don't know from where it came from, but it
Mhm.
says, "If you want to keep your lives, don't get involved in this."
I can make myself an idea of who it is that sent that message. Neo, we're right. I know you have your best intentions in mind and all of that, but sadly, we can't back down from this and sense it.
And the stream.
Next time we fight via beta. What?
No.
And
I can make myself I make myself an idea that maybe it's not the abator, but it's someone else.
Yeah, it's probably the minister, but whatever. We'll see.
No, I was thinking someone else, not the minister.
I
The
was
minister
thinking if the
is too
minister was
obvious.
going to be a villain, he would probably be a villain in season 2.
I was going to say this. The minister doesn't strike me, as a villain of it, but doesn't strike me as the villain that you fight combat to combat. So I was thinking more of someone else on this.
It's Dasa.
Yeah, that's where it was going. Yes, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, she was
Dun
hired
dun
to do something here.
dun.
That's what I think. That doesn't mean it's what it is. I want to make it clear.
It turns out the real villain is actually Captain Nos the entire time.
Yes.
Of course!
It was me.
He
It
was
was
the
me
true
all
villain
along.
all along.
It was me all along, Austin.
How did you not notice me, Elena? My hair was in my snout was in your ear.
Also, for the
My
record,
snot by my transgressions.
we can end the session. Oh, yeah, the session is over. I mean, we've
Yeah.
already said that.
The session
We
is
can
over.
Yeah, we have.
Quest complete.
Mission complete!
Anyway, next time join us for the maybe finale. Finally.
No,
Actually, next time we are actually sailing towards
yeah, next
the
time's
Elven
D&D.
land.
Next time we'll
Yeah.
have 2 sessions of D&D and a very special drinking game. So join us for that. We will see you next week. Until then, I should go.
Bye.